Stamford Bridge where legends play, the Blues march on day by day. From the academy's nurturing hands to the roaring crowds in distant lands, Chelsea Sessions brings the game to life, with training clips and match insights so rife. We dive deep into every play, where the Blues make history every day. Oh Chelsea, our hearts beat true, in victory and defeat we stand by you. From the men's fierce fight to the women's grace, together we conquer in every place. Through the highs and the lows we've seen, your spirit remains evergreen. With every pass and every goal, you ignite the passion in our soul. On Chelsea Sessions we get to know the tactics and the players that steal the show. We analyze and cheer with pride for every Blue that's side by side. Oh Chelsea, our hearts beat true, in victory and defeat we stand by you. From the men's fierce fight to the women's grace, together we conquer in every place. From the youth's first steps to the seasoned pros, your legacy eternally grows. On Chelsea Sessions we break it down, following every dribble, pass and crown. Oh Chelsea, our hearts beat true, in victory and defeat we stand by you. From the men's fierce fighting to the women's grace, together we conquer in every place. So here's to Chelsea, both now and then. We'll follow you forever through thick and thin. With Chelsea Sessions we grow as one to 100K. Let's get it done. So here's to Chelsea, both now and then. We'll follow you forever through thick and thin. With Chelsea Sessions we grow as one to 100K. Let's get it done. Oh Chelsea, our hearts beat true, in victory and defeat we stand by you, by you. From the men's fierce fight to the women's grace, together we conquer in every place. So here's to Chelsea, both now and then. We'll follow you forever through thick and thin. With Chelsea Sessions we grow as one to 100K. Let's get it done.
I hope you guys are able to hear me. Let me take out this. So many dysfunctional things happening right now, just like that performance that I saw from Chelsea. Now, there's some persons who will see Maresca out in the thumbnail. Now, I'm going to just ensure that I share this. And I'm going to share this because I don't want anybody to think that I'm being illogical by saying Maresca out. The reason why I'm saying Maresca out is not because of this match, because I'm not stupid. Chelsea are still through to the next round of the Conference League. I'm not talking about losing this match. That's ridiculous. My point is, it spans from January to present. We've played 90 matches since the turn of the year, 2025. And out of those 19 matches, we've only won 9. That is literally one less than half. All right, well, 19 is a prime number. So in terms of being able to be consistent with, in terms or having an accurate division of what the matches are, because you can't play 9.5 matches. That makes no sense. It can't be 9.5. That it doesn't exist. But my reasoning stems from the fact of, well, I'm gonna give you 4 reasons, and then I'll discuss this match as well. Number 1, he's a very stubborn manager. That's one thing. His decision making is shit. It is ass. If this stream does not get monetized, so be it. For the fact that I just said that. But I'm gonna say this: Maresca is his worst enemy. I said this last weekend on Sunday, I should say. He's his worst enemy. There's substantive reasons for why I'm saying this as well. The fans were saying were chanting for him, so fair enough. It wasn't like they were booing him entirely, but the fact of the matter is, Maresca cannot remain at Chelsea post the season. And for one, it doesn't make sense to me. It literally makes no sense to me that he stays. I know lots of people say that, oh, he's on this contract or he's on that contract, and that may be the case. And, I know a lot of people, I may lose subscribers for this, and if I lose subscribers, so be it. I generally don't care. The fact of the matter is, Enzo Maresca, people may say that he's doing his best, the team is not scoring goals, we're creating chances, and fine. I'll give him his flowers for the fact that against a Polish team, the Polish Liverpool team, a team that is the greatest Polish team in the league that they play in, that we were able to to play excellent football, go on a counter as soon as they had a chance. I'm aware of that, and as I said, this match has nothing to do with why I'm saying this. Losing this match is just a testament to how vulnerable the team is defensively, how vulnerable the team is in terms of turnover. People may say the team was rotated. Players like Josh Achingpong, who doesn't make mistakes, made mistakes. We were making passes straight to them. We were losing the ball easily. You could have said that there were moments where they even had chances and the referee did not give a free kick. Fine. You can give all the excuses that you want to give. I understand that. But Maresca is a manager that has disappointed me, and a lot of people understand why I say that. It's a pity that people like Jerry Z isn't here, because he would have known that when people like him were ready to say Maresca or Maresca should not even be the manager before he even touched on Cobham, and he started to train with the team. He was one of those persons that was saying, and I kept giving reasons as to, okay, this could work. I was trying to be optimistic, but the decision making of this manager is ridiculous. The Conference League, let me take out the Conference League matches, and if I take out all the Conference League matches that we have played since the turn of the year, so Copenhagen would be one of those matches. Obviously, the FA Cup, fine, we beat Morecambe. What happened? We got eliminated from the FA Cup against Brighton in the 4th round. So that's all. Then we lost 3-0 to Brighton in the Premier League. We lost 2-1 to Aston Villa on the 22nd of February. We beat Southampton 4-0. Happy days. Everybody was in Gloryland. Copenhagen, I'm disregarding that match. Leicester City, we won 1-0. We won 1-0 again, Copenhagen again. Fair enough. Arsenal, we lost 1-0. Tottenham, we beat 1-0. Brentford, we drew. This match, we beat. Well, the match before that, when we played Legia Warsaw last week, this time, it was a 3-0 win. Disregarding that, because that means absolutely nothing to me. And Legia Warsaw was let down by the fact that they couldn't convert last week as to why they lost the match in the fashion that they did, and they started making mistakes as well. Then we drew with Ipswich Town. We all know the story. We went 2-0 down. We could have been worse. The defensive shape of this team is ridiculous. And people may say that, Chalobah did this and Chalobah did that. It is your responsibility when you realize that your players are not positioned the correct way to defend, that you correct it. The next match, you don't let it happen. And exactly what happened against Ipswich Town is what happened against Legia Warsaw. No, I don't care if anybody says I'm being unreasonable, because at the end of the day, I have tried to be positive. I try to see the brighter side. But the fact of the matter is, we have won only. If I take out the Conference League matches, that is approximately 4 matches. So 5. We've won 5 matches in 15. Or is that, yeah, 5 matches in 15. That is embarrassing. That is disgraceful. People may say, oh, we had injuries, oh, we had this. The squad became deflated because of the fact of what Maresca did. His poor man management, his decision not to rest certain players, the way that he plays does not suit certain players. So players like Enzo Fernandez have been able to do this. But give me a minute. Right, so had a little technical difficulty there. What I've noticed already is that the channel has already lost 5 subscribers, which I generally don't care about. But I am just to confirm to know that what I would have speculated to be the case is actually reality. I generally don't care. The fact of the matter is, Enzo Maresca, and I'm going to be repeating myself, is his worst enemy. I am one fan that I'm not going to call out a manager. I'm not going to say the manager is this, the manager is that. The fact of the matter is, I can see what Maresca tries to do. I'm not going to be unreasonable. I'm not going to be illogical. I'm not going to say that everything that has happened, it's only him. But the fact of the matter is, you need a manager that has experience, is well rehearsed, knows what to do. When a team in the situation that they're in, the players look dejected. The players are trying their hardest. If you look at the facial expression of the players, fine, they know that based on the fact that they won 3-0 last week, losing 2-1 means absolutely nothing because they win on aggregate. Fine. But the fact of the matter is, when you are playing against a team like Legia Warsaw, a team that are trying to vie for a top 4 finish in their league as well, a league that I'm not going to try to pronounce, but in the Polish league, the grandest stage for them, they're the most successful team in that league. They've won a record of 15 titles, national championships as it's called over there. So they are literally the most successful team in that league. And you're telling me that a team like Chelsea, a team that is supposed to be the favorites in the competition, are allowing that team, no disrespect to them, because they're a tremendous team in their league and they're a tremendous team based on what you see. Their players are not at the level on paper as what Chelsea players should be. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to talk about the Conference League match, because the Conference League match means absolutely jack shit. It means nothing at all. But my point is this. There are matches that we ended up losing in the Premier League, and people say, oh, we had injuries, oh, we had this, we had that. I don't want to hear anything about no injuries this and no injuries that, because the players that you have, you should be able to play to their strengths if you know that they have vulnerabilities. You have worked with these players for the past 9 months, and you're telling me that you cannot conjure up a solution to compensate for the errors. You have no choice. Wesley Fofana was one of your star defenders. He has been unreliable in terms of being able to stay fit. You have players like Chalobah being called back. Chalobah has the Bozo gene. Badeshield has the Bozo gene. Tosin has the Bozo gene. Levi Cole has the Bozo gene. You're telling me that you train these players on a weekly basis. I don't know about day to day, but weekly basis. And you're telling me that you cannot compensate the problem that we saw against Ipswich Town, for example, is exactly what Legia Warsaw literally capitalized on. the poor shape when you're defending, the whole highline aspect where you're so distant from the goalkeeper to the point where your body is, I don't even know how to explain the positioning because it's so ridiculous to me. It is. Your defender, the last man before you get to the goalkeeper, is positioned in a way where the gap is there. Legia Warsaw we're playing like the prime Barcelona, little 1-2 quick pass there and all that. That's ridiculous. Ipswich Town made us look like garbage. And fine, they're gonna say that against Ipswich Town, Robert Sanchez was tempted by the fans because the fans said to go long, and he's not used to playing long. That is the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. Because even if the goalkeeper makes a mistake, the positioning was ass. And it is like that on a weekly basis whenever we have played. And Enzo Maresca, I'm saying Maresca out, not because of the fact that we've lost this match. I'm going to constantly repeat that. Not because of this. I'm talking about how Chelsea have done in the Premier League. Matches that we should not be losing. Or because drawing to Ipswich Town is a loss, in my opinion. It is a massive loss. Teams that were below us are now ahead of us. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And I don't care about what people say about, we had injuries. Because as I said before, you train these players. You see them on a weekly basis, most of them. You are there with them, and you should know the weaknesses because the training, you have little friendly matches behind closed doors when you're training. So you should see where the errors are. You should see where the weaknesses are of the goalkeeper, the defense, the midfield, whatever the case may be. And that is absolutely not the case. Players like Enzo Fernandez, tremendous creator. I will never take that away from Enzo Fernandez. But the physical game, I don't care what anybody wants to say about, he can be physical, but because he's this, he's because of that, he's not going to do that. I generally don't care about that. The fact of the matter is, he should be doing way better. He should be doing better. I don't care. I've done player profile videos on him, so I'm aware of his frailties. But when you have a situation where you are at a club where they focus on data, they're data driven, they focus on this, they focus on that, the data should present to you that a player that has not gotten surgery in Romeo Lavia, Wizifona has finally gotten surgery after being at the club for approximately 3 years. He's or typically two and a half years, I should probably say. That is the situation. And you're telling me that considering all of those factors, you cannot come up with a solution to compensate for that? That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I'm going to check the chat because I know there's going to be a lot of controversy there. I'm going to check what the chat is saying. Let's see what's being said here. So, all right. So, this person says, "Are you mad, time? Maresca out." Poggy says Maresca is an embarrassment. Wolfgang says, "Big up TT. We said it from time. This guy is a championship wash up." Well, I won't insult him, but he's not good enough for Chelsea. If he stays next season, Chelsea are not even getting top 4. They're not getting Champions League this year. They're not getting top 5. They're not getting top 6. They're getting 7th. We're finishing 7th, and that's a realistic prediction because currently we're literally joined 6th with Aston Villa, and the only reason we're not 7th right now is because we have a better goal difference than them. That's the only reason why we're not 7th right now. That's the situation. Let me go to the rest of the chat. Wolfgang follows up and says, 13 times winning positions, we lost points. That never happened under even Poch. All right, people say that fine, we didn't play in the Conference League under Pochettino. That's the excuse that I've seen. That's ridiculous to me. But whatever the case may be, let's go to this. He ain't no coach, cockroach baby. Well, oh my gosh. All right, that's not even funny. Big up the chat. Big up to you, Wolfgang, man, my friend and my brother. Puggy says facts. Big up, Wolf. We played badly. It's clear to see now we were second, and that's true. And how do you go from being second, scoring the most goals, to not being able to score any goals, and then you're telling me, and this is the most ridiculous thing, and this is how I know that Maresca, the hype that he gets, it is so toxic positivity, and that it makes no sense. Because if he's such a great manager as people are making him out to be, you realize that your talisman in Cole Palmer is not scoring goals for you. Cole Palmer got injured. Don't you think that the most logical thing to do is to ensure that you have as much options? We saw Tyreek George. Why was Tyreek George not getting more game time then? You realize that players like Jadon Sancho, if you want to go down that slippery slope of saying Jadon Sancho is not good enough, why are you not playing players like Tyreek George? Why is he on the bench in games where he can play against teams like Ipswich, which no offense to Ipswich Town, but they're literally getting relegated? And you're telling me that players like Tyreek George cannot get game time? If there's anything good that I can take away from this Conference League match, is that Tyreek George is a player that there's no excuses that Maresca can give to explain why he, as a top upcoming player, for why he could not be getting that opportunity where you have misfiring players like Jadon Sancho. Madueke is coming back and he's trying. Neto is creating, but he's not shooting. Marc Cucurella is literally the player that we had to depend on to even get a goal. We could not score any goals. Cole Palmer missed a blatantly clear opportunity. Nicholas Jackson is a shadow of himself, and then Nkunku is a trash player. And you're telling me that you cannot give any other player like Tyreek George. We have nothing. There's nothing. We're not winning the league. We're literally trying to conjure up and try to get Champions League. And you're telling me that a young player in Tyreek George, who has shown that he has the capabilities, he's inexperienced, he still is a bit raw, but at the end of the day, he shows that he has the capabilities to challenge the options that we have, which is so limited in terms of quality and capabilities and competency. And you cannot, for the life of you, find a way to adjust to the way that he plays, adjust the system to accommodate him, adjust the system so that you can utilize somebody else that can offer you a different solution when your other star players are misfiring. You're telling me that that's the case? That is ridiculous. Maresca is a joke of a manager. And as I said, it's not about the Conference League, because we could still win a Conference League. I don't see it happening, but we could still win a Conference League because it's a possibility. We're still there. We've gone to the semi-finals, I believe, because I've lost track of what stage we're at this point, because that's how disconnected I feel from the club. It's an embarrassment. It's madness. It's madness. Let me go through the rest of the chat, man. Wolfgang says, Puggy, bless you. Big up to you, my good friend GMC Garvin, and I know tomorrow is your special day as well. So I'm gonna say it from now. Happy birthday in advance. Tomorrow is gonna be. I'm not sure if I'll be able to contact you tomorrow, so I'm just gonna do it here. Happy birthday in advance. I know tomorrow will be your birthday. So happy birthday in advance, GMC Garvin. And Wolfgang says, big up to you, Garvin. And then Arsenal can defend. We can't. That's simple. That's so true. That's so true. All right, sure. I'll send the link right now. I'm going to send it to you using the Chelsea Sessions, Instagram account, because I've lost connection to. I've lost access to my personal one. So I'm gonna check your Instagram inbox. I'll send you the link there, Wolfie, because I can access my personal one. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let me see. To check there, I'm gonna send it to you now. But yeah, as I said, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and I don't care what anybody wants to say, because you may say the attack is in scoring, but at least let it be a case where we can say that our defense is doing its best, it's giving its all, and it's just that despite that, our attack is not doing that. We are so vulnerable defensively. The midfield is so exposed. We're playing a two-man midfield against teams that are able to use a three-man midfield, find ways to tuck in players. And that's the reason why we've had to use Reece James, who has struggled, barring the Conference League match that he played against Copenhagen, he was able to score a goal. That is the only chance the only time I've seen Reece James deliver in terms of playing that midfield area, because we know that we have an injury-prone player in Romeo Lavia. We signed a young player in Matisse or whatever his name is, and he's not even getting to touch the grass other than warming up. That's the only time he touches the grass. And you're telling me that in a situation where you're so limited on options in that midfield, you don't trust Dewsbury Hall defensively, fine. But you have a player that is literally his profile as a defensive-minded midfielder, a player that it can be a ball-winning midfielder. Fine, he may go to Strasbourg. Maybe that's the plan. That's the project. That's the blueprint. But you're telling me that in a situation where your defense is so vulnerable, you're not going to try every solution. You're going to stick to playing the exact same way with the same options, with the same decisions. That's the definition of going insane. You're doing the exact same thing over and over again, and you expect a different result. You're a madman. You must be crazy, because you cannot tell me that you do have the option that you want. You're vulnerable defensively, and you have other options. Josh Achimpong, a player that has proven that defensively he may not be up there, but you do have options that you can trust. You don't trust Chalobah in terms of being consistent. Give Josh Achimpong a game time. He can play the centre-back role. He can play the right-back. And his ball-playing skills is tremendous. Barring the mistakes that he made in this match against Legia Warsaw. But that's not something that he does on a regular basis. But he tried so hard in this match to try to conjure up this match itself so that we would not lose on the night. And you're telling me that despite the fact that you want to use the excuse of the defense is not good, the defense has not been good enough and all of that, you cannot trust those young players? Nah, that's ridiculous. I'm joined here by Wolfie, so big up to you, my brother Wolfie. How are you doing?
I'm all right, my brother. How are you? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm just trying not to get myself worked up, because obviously I can't really get myself too worked up. But I'm pissed literally. It's not about the Conference League match, man. It's about everything leading up to this, man. From January, not even January, from December, the defeats to Ipswich Town, the defeat to Fulham, up to now. I try to be calm about it, but nah, man. This match proved to me that he learned nothing from the Ipswich game, literally.
Well, the thing is, yeah, I hear you. And this is where me being a slightly older head than you will come into fruition, right? So if you don't want to get angry about it, you don't want to get mean about it, and you don't want to get rude about it, there's only two things you can really do. You can either just leave it completely, or just go through the things in your head logically like I have and just lay it out. And let's lay it out. Right, let's talk about Enzo Maresca. Let's address the issue directly. It doesn't matter how much tactical knowledge you have. It doesn't matter how much of a good coach you are. And it doesn't matter how creative you are when it comes to teaching technique. If you can't motivate your players to play, even on the most basic level, you are done as a coach. Absolutely done. Now, the reason why I say you can't motivate your players to play. Now, under the radar, me and TT have been talking about this often, right, recently, and we've both said that in our own ways that even though we're not necessarily in for one or the other, if you look at how we were playing this time last year to how we are playing now, there's a drop-off in intensity, there's a drop-off in goals. But to any real Chelsea fan, you got to be honest, by this time last year, even though we just lost the Carling Cup final to Liverpool, we were on the up and up at the league. We looked motivated. We were going to go up the league. Right? The more that, if the season had gone on slightly longer, we'd probably gone even higher. But it didn't. The season finished. And I'm not being funny. If you want to talk about the goal scoring early on, everything that was good about the way Chelsea were playing, it was exactly what the blueprint of Poch did last season, coming into this season. And slowly but surely, you've seen Enzo Maresca take it apart, inch by inch. Because let's be honest, right? If you talk about who was on form for Chelsea at the beginning of this season, you're talking the Palmers, you're talking the Jacksons, in exactly the system or way of playing that Poch had them, but worse.
Lots of running.
Because, and I'm not being funny, right? We all complained about sometimes Poch's training methods, about how he injures certain players by forcing them to run all the time. I'm not being funny. What are they doing now on the pitch? All the time for nothing. Now, you mentioned the Ipswich result. Big up Garvin as well. Happy birthday for tomorrow as well, by the way. If that's like, you know what I mean? Like, one thing I will say, right, okay, and you brought up the Ipswich result, right? It's not just the fact we drew with Ipswich. It's not just the fact we lost to Ipswich or Fulham at home. You can lose to teams, but there's a way of losing. You have to lose with fight. You have to lose with courage. Because if we'd lost to Ipswich and I don't know, at Stamford Bridge, if we were 2-0 down with 2 men sent off, and then we came back, we'd be cheering. But that's not what happened. Now, do you remember I said to you, TT, the other day, yeah, and I'm probably sure you've checked this yourself, right? Check the Ipswich stats for that game. We had 75% possession at home with 36 shots.
Yep.
Now, when I first told TT that, he didn't believe me, and now that he's checked that out himself, he probably couldn't believe it when he probably thought, "Rah, Wolfie weren't making that up." Like, you know what I mean? 30, right, folks, you name me any team in world football that plays at home, gets 75% of the ball and 36 shots throughout the whole game and doesn't win the match. If that's Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, even Spurs, they're dusting whoever they're playing. Because at least up until like the back end of last season, like at least these guys had someone else who could finish for them. Maybe with the exception of Arsenal. But Haaland would finish the City.
Can I say something, Wolfie?
Yeah, sure, big up, brother.
Because for me, at the beginning of the season, you know, I got it wrong with Maresca. Because I was saying that you know, the way we were playing free flowing football, you know, he changed a little bit from what I seen Leicester. He come with a free flowing where the player was playing with freedom. And since December, it seems like the players stopped playing for him. Like it seems like the players regress instead of improve. Like we're playing this type of football where we keep on pass. If we don't see a true pass, we go backwards. A lot of times I see like the players are afraid to take risks because of what he's saying in the press conference. If the players don't do what I told them to do, especially the goalkeeper, he's not going to play the next game. So players now start to reject to go forward. Like notice every time that Chelsea score a goal since December is every time that we play on a fast counter where the players go direct. Every time the players see and take their man on one-on-one and go direct, that's when Chelsea score. You notice that the he's trying to be the Pep 2.0, which move the ball, but nothing else behind it.
Every time we lose, they're countering us. Have you noticed that? Every time it's because they're playing on the counter attack against us.
That's where I'm going right now too, because you know, I haven't been around for a while, but because tomorrow's my birthday, I take today off on tomorrow. So that's why Ty really get to me, because I haven't seen hearing from me from when. But look at this. And this is the problem Chelsea got. And everyone want to tell me about Enzo Fernandez and Maresca. I don't care what no one want to say. I don't care who want to unsubscribe or who want to subscribe to my channel. Enzo Fernandez and Maresca is the biggest problem in Chelsea team. And also Cole Palmer. And the reason why I said Cole Palmer is a lot of people don't realize that Cole Palmer is a big problem because they're trying to make Cole Palmer be this golden boy where the Enzo Maresca forced him to put him inside at the number 10. Last season under Pochettino, while we were winning a whole bunch of penalty, Cole Palmer was coming from the left where players cannot mark him because he's coming from the right, inside. But I've Cole Palmer stuck on the inside.
He had a free roll. He went wherever the space was. You're absolutely right what you said, Garvin. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. So right now, what team is doing, Cole Palmer's in the middle, close out in the middle. We're going to put physical player in the middle. So guess what? Cole Palmer is done. He's out. He's knocked out. They put him in an RKO. He's done for. Because guess what?
And just to add to your point, by the way, just before you continue, another thing is another reason why Cole Palmer looks worse than what he did last season is because there's no longer a Conor Gallagher and in midfield to help Concedo and him out to hunt the ball back.
But that's where I'm going to now. All the Enzo Fernandez, what do you want to call it, fanboy, they don't understand that Lavia injury and come out of that midfield with his physical in the midfield. Chelsea does not have a midfield. We only have Caicedo. Caicedo is not a machine. He's a human. So Caicedo cannot do everything by himself.
He's not Kante. Yeah, he can't do a two-man job. He's not Kante, bro.
No,
the fan base needs to get over that, bro. He's not a Kante 2.0, and he's not a Makalele 2.0. He's a Concedo. He's his own player.
Yeah. So look at it today. Jules Bial and Reece James. Reece James, who injury prone, who are afraid of his hamstring. Jules Bial is not a lightweight, similar player to Enzo Fernandez. Is a similar player to Enzo Fernandez. So he's getting the midfield profile very, very wrong. It better to keep Conor Chukwuemeka and put a Conor Chukwuemeka with his physical attribute alongside of Reece James, or even that young players from the academy. He's keep on getting the midfield. You notice every time that one of the defenders step and Chelsea lose the ball in the midfield, if Reece James is not there to make a attacker, they go straight towards our goal, where they're facing their defense line. The same thing when they got Caicedo in there. If Caicedo go above the ball and the ball got turned over, they go straight at our defense line because Enzo Fernandez cannot keep up with a player. Look at Newcastle, for instance. Let us go back to the team in form. Newcastle. Look at Newcastle midfield. They don't got a number 10 in there, but they got physical player. The Premier League called for physical player. When I was growing up as a kid, they used to tell me that the midfield should be the engine of every team. With a strong midfield, you go a far way. Without a midfield, you cannot win nothing. The midfield control the game. And Chelsea midfield is weak. It's physically weak. And I think mentally, defensive-wise, mentally is weak also. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think one of the main reasons, because this is the thing about us tactically, and I think TT alluded to it earlier on, and I think you touched on it as well about the running. The problem with us is because we have such a high line, we're Spurs 2.0. Because when it comes down to it, all you've got, because you mentioned it a minute ago about not only are we great when it comes better when it comes to like a direct attacking play, we're also more susceptible to it because we have such a high line. You literally said it yourself. You beat one man and you're straight at our goalkeeper. Literally, You watch how many times, right? We've had a player beaten in the midfield. You're gonna be on the halfway line, but after that, they're straight at our goalkeeper. And that's because of Enzo's stupid tactics about trying to play like Barcelona 2010 when you got your two other centre-backs shifting out to the wide positions, trying to play Pep copy football. But the problem is, and he doesn't realise that, is PK was a fraud of the defender, but he was good on the ball, which helped him because he would play out from the back and that would help. And they had a very serious guy called Pulio. If you don't know who Pulio is, I ain't got time for you because you don't know Barcelona then. But at the end of the day, Julio was arguably one of the greatest defenders, or if not the greatest defender of his, because he had to do his job alone a lot of the time.
Yep, he was a beast.
But bro, you know what? Yeah, you know the day I rate Carlos Pulio when I was watching the Barcelona derby against Espanyol, and one of the Espanyol players slapped him. Ronaldinho come over to him, and guess what? Pulio held back Ronaldinho, just pushed him away. He's like, "No, don't get involved. Don't get involved." The guy slapped him. He was like, no, don't get involved. Don't get involved. I'll tackle him later. Just don't get involved. That guy was a G, bro. And we don't have a Pulio, I'm afraid. We don't have a JT anymore.
Because Levi Colwell is a carbon copy of everything that people keep. I'm just giving it straight because I haven't given it for a couple months now because I'm so busy. But Levi Colwell is a garbage of defender. Look at the goals that we concede on Saturday or Sunday. against Ipswich Town. Look at Levi Colwell, defensive, the way how he's set up as a defender. He showed me, and it's been all season long. Chelsea doesn't have a team.
Garvan, you know when Enzo Maresca should have learned with Levi Colwell away at Liverpool when we lost 2-1 when he gave away the penalty for Salah. That's when he should have learned.
So
Bro,
I heard
you forgot that, innit? You forgot that, innit? I didn't. I remember that.
I heard a lot of people being saying that that Chelsea doesn't need any defender. Chelsea need 4 solid central defender. All of our defenders are crap.
I don't think
one of our defenders are crap.
But the defensive structure is crap, and that's down to the manager because you can only defend in the structure you're put in.
No, but I can. The reason why I said that, Wolfie, I can give you all their weakness.
Yeah, please.
Fofana, where's the Fofana? Right?
Yes.
He does not know how to use his body with that EPA injury that he's getting. He's going to continue to get those injuries until his career is done and over with. Because guess what? He played this suicide type of defender.
The surgery helps. Let's hope the surgery helps.
The surgery won't help him. Because remember on a show, Ty, remember I said this to you guys. And even Dante was like, oh, I don't think so. The way Wesley Fofana play, soon as he come from injury, he's going to go back there. Because he take a lot of risks as a defender.
He does actually, and he sprints a lot as well.
And he sprints a lot. Every time, look at all of his injury when he's at Chelsea against AC Milan. Go way back to AC Milan. Remember over Driver and then go straight into the guy, and then he was out for almost a year.
Brother, look at the one this year, the one just before Christmas. He slipped. He hyperextended something and he ripped it. You could tell he slips.
Okay, but go back again and look at the ball that come to him. Or we could have easily had that ball upwards because you know that you got hamstring problem. He tried to let the ball go behind him, then try to turn and try to sprint to catch it, to knock it back to the goalkeeper, and that's where he done his hamstring. So a lot of these, and then Toastin, a lot of times people said, oh, he's Uncle Toastin, but Toastin is prone to give away the ball easily with his passing range. Levi Colwell doesn't like to defend. He's just there to pass. He doesn't like to defend. If he got a attacking player gonna be run at him many times, he's gonna panic and he's gonna do something stupid. So what we got no defender at all. We got no leader, no one in the defense line that can marshal it.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go back to the coach, his tactics is way out, because first thing first, if you're playing against Fulham got one single play was using that Robinson guy running at our defensive line, and what he done, he stuck our winger, that was Pedro Neto, way at right back to Mark Robinson. Why you don't tell Pedro Neto, okay, stay up there, he gonna have to come back to defend? You know, you have to be brave as a coach, because guess what? Robinson gonna know that he leave a hole behind him. So guess what? You got Cole Palmer, you got Jackson, and plus Palmer and Neto up there. What Robinson have to do? Robinson cannot bump forward as much as he used to, but he uses tactics trying to keep Robinson at bay. And what it do? It gives Fulham to overload us. So I'm waiting on Sunday to really see what kind of formation he's gonna put out. If he's gonna go back with the same thing to try to mark that Robinson got out of the game, you know, or try to double up on him, because Robinson, he just got the speed. So why would you want to double up on a player when you should have the advantage? Nick it and counter. Why cannot you change and counter? Why you want to keep on playing the ball around when you're playing against physical and fast players?
You just said it there, right? I've never seen once Enzo do that where all of our players are behind the halfway line looking to counter. Everyone's always pushed up for some strange reason. He doesn't adapt. That's the other thing as well, right? If you know, okay, because this is the argument I'm not really, and I want to voice this, right? A lot of people were saying that Enzo is brave because he's implementing his tactical style early. But if you know your players aren't good enough to do it, doesn't that make you a ridiculous coach?
That's why I said he's mad. That's insanity. That is
Because
insanity.
yeah, exactly. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing you know isn't going to work over and over and over and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity, folks.
I heard someone. I don't know if it was Ty said this earlier, but said Nkuku was a trash player. I'm not gonna blame Christopher Nkuku.
No.
No.
It's not his fault entirely, but to be honest, with him, his contributions on the pitch, this guy, right, that is nowhere near the Christopher Nkuku I see at Leipzig. But
Can I explain the reason why I said that? All right, look at this. Right, when Christopher Nkuku come in to Chelsea before we got the injury, you can see what he can do in the preseason with the team. His link-up play was excellent with Nicholas Jackson. But what Enzo Maresca did, because he want to put Cole Palmer in the number 10 to play that Kevin De Bruyne role, he froze Christopher Nkuku out of the team completely. He's killed his confidence. If you notice, my first message that I put in the chat was like, he's killing the players. He killed Christopher Nkuku, and as a player, when you see that a manager didn't put so much into confidence in you so early in the season, it killed that player momentum. So right now, Christopher Nkuku, much as he's there, his body is there, but probably his mind is not there, and it's coming from the coach. Because when the players like Noni Madueke and the rest of the player wasn't playing that well, and even the same guy that suspended Mudryk or whatever, he could have used Cole Palmer. When the first time I know about Cole Palmer used to play left wing for Manchester City, even against Chelsea. Before we come to Chelsea, go look back at it. A lot of times when Cole Palmer used to get games at Man City, he used to come on as a left winger, and he used to play excellent. He was playing excellent as a right winger also. So you want to tell me that he couldn't find way to at least give Christopher Nkuku a better chance? And then when you're going to use certain players just in the Conference League and not even in the Premier League, you're trying to show this player like, I'm not confident in you. I don't need you in my squad.
Well, on that, he kills the ambition of the team anyway in what he says. No, we're not in a title race. No, we're not expected to get top 4. No, we don't expect to get Champions. That's the guy lacks ambition. He killed any ambition we had. He murdered it in press conferences ages ago. And even when the players are trying to do things just because it just keeps the team out of trouble, like kick the ball long. Oh no, anyone that kicks the ball long is going to get benched. What? Even when it stops the other team from scoring? You're insane, brother. It's insane.
And not only that, a player like Cole Palmer. If you're going to give a player like Cole Palmer to just pass, short pass, that's going to kill his confidence too. Cole Palmer is a risk-taker player. You have to let him free. Cole Palmer wouldn't do good in a Man City team where, if you notice, when he was at Man City, because of the way how Cole Palmer played, that's why he wasn't getting a lot of game at Man City.
He's not a playmaker.
A midfielder. And as he always play wide, he's a risk taker.
Wants him to be one. That's stupidness.
Cole Palmer, you have to let him be free. You have to let him dribble if he feel like he want to dribble, pass when he feel like he want to pass. You have to let him loose.
Yeah, he wants to score. He always wants to score. When this guy dribbles and beats a man, he's not looking to pass. He's looking to shoot, and that's the problem. Because one thing about it is when Ipswich, great example. You get the ball. Try and find space for a shot, take another touch, can't take a shot, take another touch. All right, I'm going to lay the ball off. All the momentum's done then. That's the problem. The way he makes Palmer play now, it kills the momentum of the team because Palmer's no longer the one on the end of things finishing it. He's the one trying to start it, which we all know that's not what Palmer's good at. He's not a playmaker. That's simple. He's a goal-scoring midfielder. We had one in Lampard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the proof's in the pudding. You know, this is what I mean about the adaptation. If you know your player is good at goal scoring, why try and make him a Xavi Alonso when you got a Frank Lampard, like, in terms of his goal scoring contributions? No, it's not for real, TT. It's true, because Lampard was exactly like that. He wasn't the best playmaker. He could get an assist, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't a guy that could dictate a tempo of a game, but he was a guy that could contribute and score. That's why we love Lamps, because he would never stop running, right? And I'm not being funny, like, Ipswich is the best example of what not to do with Cole Palmer. don't let him try and stand in front of two guys slowing the ball down looking for a shot, because that's the watch Cole Palmer. I've watched Cole Palmer close now for nearly 2 years. I'm telling you, whenever this guy gets, the first thing he does is look up the goal. Then he'll run and pass if he can't get past his man. And that's the problem. When you're trying to play high speed pressing football like we do, you got a counter, unless you're playing on the counter attack like Garvin just said. And he made a great point about what he was saying about the personnel as well, about Lavia. There's no engine. And because that tempo isn't maintained in front of the whole idea of it's intensity, isn't it? Right? Would you not agree, Garvin? Would you not agree, TT? The whole philosophy behind Enzo Maresca's football is kind of like similar to Klopp's, actually, in the sense if the intensity is not there, the whole thing falls apart. Now, if you're basing your football on that kind of style, which I think is suicidal with a young squad anyway, but because you need them to know in split seconds what to do and what not to do, which a lot of them don't have that know-how yet. You need to play a more what's the word? More reserved style. Let me put it that way. Reserved. Would that not be a fair point to make? You know what I mean? Because you can't expect these boys, like you can't expect them to play in a system that only really prime Barcelona could do. And I mean prime Barcelona. You know, Messi, Xavi, Biscuits. You know, Pulio, PK. The lot. You know what I mean? It's a very difficult. He's a very what's the expression I'm looking for? A nose despite his face kind of guy, Enzo. You know what I mean when I say he cuts off his nose despite his face? You know what I mean by saying that?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because what you're saying is correct, because and it go back to even to the owners too, because if you notice, right, like they're trying to play a position style base game like a prime Barcelona, because that's the only way gonna suit Enzo Fernandez, because Enzo Fernandez, the more you keep the ball, you know, the better Enzo Fernandez look. But the more you go into a rock and roll style of play or end to end, whereas our players got the talent, you know, to beat past a press easily, you know, the more you go into that style of play, then you're gonna see the weakness of Enzo Fernandez. You know, so Maresca come in, and I think the owners got a big part to play on this. So Maresca come in and try to fit Enzo Fernandez in, because last season I was telling Ty that I want him to get injured, to be quite honest, because Pochettino didn't want to take him out because of the money that they pay for him. And soon as he got that injury, and we heard that he had to do that earner, you can see the difference in that Chelsea team. You know, I didn't care if he get injured or not, because I'm Chelsea first, and players can come after. But when that player come out for the last 6 or 7 games of the season, you see that Pochettino did have to change, and you see a total different Chelsea. So now this season, for us to make Champions League, we're probably gonna ask for one more miracle again, to be quite honest.
Making champion, even if we did make, you really want, bro, we're getting embarrassed by teams in the Europa League conference. You really want to have Champions League with that team? No, thank you.
Nah.
No. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying is
I agree. I fully agree.
If some of these players really come out of this team, and he put the right profile in, then you can see the difference. You know, because he's gonna have to find a way to adapt and to adjust. That's the only way you're gonna see Chelsea play free flowing.
And I don't think he has it in him to adapt and adjust, because if he could have adapted and adjusted, he would have done it by now if he had any brains. So, you know what I mean? And I'm not being funny, yeah. One thing about it as well, and I want to have this mentioned as well, because you're kind of seeing another, you know, Carlo Ancelotti. Did anyone at Real Madrid are in a similar situation where they may be playing a style of football as well that doesn't suit the players they've got? And that's a similar style to us, because if you actually look
wide.
I'm not being funny, yeah, and I know a lot of people are thinking, what's he talking about? If you're looking at the way Real Madrid played against Arsenal, then you look at the way we played against Legia tonight, they're very similar, because you knew both teams were never going to win. And you could see that in the way they were playing, because I don't care what anyone says to me, Real Madrid didn't even look remotely close to winning that game last night. I don't care if they were in the Bernabeu. 15th place Valencia beat them there a week and a half ago, so I don't want to hear nothing about the burner bar. Yeah? Right? Look at the teams. They're both playing a style of football that doesn't suit the players they've got. Because if Real Madrid can't go direct football like us, you're gonna get told you're stinking out the place. You need to entertain everybody. That's why these managers nowadays don't adapt their styles of play to become more defensive. And when they do become more defensive, like the Mourinho's and the Contes, they're told how bad the football is. You know, it's funny because I'm not being funny. I'd rather bad football and results than really, really, really crap football, trying to play expressive football and end up doing it very badly and making ourselves look silly in the same. Because the main difference, the reason why we were goal scoring or all this earlier on in the season is because no one has analysed Enzo's system yet. By the time they do analyse his system and work it out, it's like, oh, this guy's trying to be a wannabe Barcelona. Oh, we'll just counter you. Done. He got worked out like that. And that's a fact. And I'm not being funny. I'm not saying it's quite 90s Serie A football level tactical, but you have to know what your system's like, the benefits of it and the negatives of it in modern football. Because of the mistake-prone players of nowadays, if there's a fault in your system, it's going to be exposed really quickly. Put it that way. And in both cases, and I go back to the Real Madrid and Chelsea, we can't attack. Excuse my French. Excuse my French. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a bit of a rant, but it's true. It's all true. I apologize if I was like, ugh. But yeah, I don't know what you boys think.
You're good, man. You're good, man. I don't know if Gavin has anything else to say. If and then after that, I'll just go into just reviewing the match. And do
can I just ask you both then quickly? Because I'm gonna quickly bounce and spend some time with my chick, right? Do you think? And I'll ask both of you and the chat. Do you think we'll make Champions League football? Do you think we'll make top 5?
I've said it since the beginning of time. We're not getting Champions. I said 6, but now I'm saying 7. I think Aston Villa will finish ahead of us. I think that's going to be the case. I think Villa will finish ahead of us. I think the top 4. I think Newcastle could. It's a possibility that they may go to second or remaining third, because I think Arsenal will add a lot of commitment towards the Champions League and perhaps trying to win it. And obviously they're not going to win the Premier League, I should say. The Champions League, it's not impossible now, but you know, PSG, Barcelona could keep them up, but definitely Chelsea getting Champions League. And as you rightfully said, we're in the same boat. I don't want to see this team in the Champions League, because I don't even think we'd finish out of the last 16. The whole new format confused the hell out of me from 90-24, whatever the case may be. We wouldn't. I don't think we'd be getting that. And I don't think I want to see this scene, because I don't think the model changes anytime soon. So definitely I don't want to see it. But big up to you, Sakaya, South Africa. I'm surprised so many likes are on the stream. I guess a lot of people have seen the lights as well. I thought I would get a lot of dislikes, man, but we're getting there. And I even got I got about 5 subscribers. I lost 5 subscribers and gained 5. So we'll see. So I appreciate you for stopping by, my good friend. It's good to see you. I hope you're well as well. How about you, Garvan? Garvan is gone.
Is he? I hope I didn't upset him. All right, good.
I think that's the case.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you for having me on, TT, by the way. I didn't mean to comment on rant, and I hope I haven't sounded like someone who's just bitter.
I was going to rant, so don't worry about it. You basically
no, you know what it is? I believe in it articulating over shouting, so it was one of those ones I wanted to just stress an opinion in a very constructed and like interpretable way, other than just saying I don't like this guy very much. And you know me, I haven't liked this guy for a long time. You can check my channel out. You'll even see from December, I'm saying, nah, man, I'm not really sure about this guy. And boy, whew. And we both agreed that taking Tosin out of the team, like, well, so in and out with him was a bit stupid, considering at one point he was our best defender. But you know, I'm gonna go spend some of my time on misses. Please like and subscribe to my little brother up there. He's a good guy and he works hard, and like me, suffers supporting this team. And so, much love to you, TT. And when we've got Blues Brothers lined up, make sure you're there, my guy. Love my little brother. Blues.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that's the case, man. That's the case. You know, I'll be right back, guys. Give me a couple give me a couple seconds. I'll be right back. We'll take a little short intermission so I can, you know, hydrate myself. Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, so let's get into the actual reason why you clicked onto the stream or the video if you're watching this after it's live. And I think it's the perfect time as well as we hit the 1 hour mark. So approximately probably for 30 minutes, probably less, I will be, you know, discussing the match itself so that, you know, we don't actually just let it be a rant, because actually we focus on analytical business here. We speak about logic and reasoning skills. So we're going to ensure that on Chelsea sessions, the channel that focuses few different sessions on Chelsea, which I've expanded it to the women's team as well, because it's also Chelsea, although the owners have done garbage and have, you know, technically still ownership, but it's not owned by Chelsea anymore. It's more of a, you know, a third party. I'm not going to go through all of that business and, you know, of some ownership by what they own and all the case may be. So let's go back to this. Let me know if you guys can see what I'm sharing. If not, I'll just probably have to just change the way in which you're seeing this. But yeah, let me go back to this. So this is the stats. So let me know if you guys are able to see it. If not, I'll just zoom in some more. But 12 people watching. I appreciate all 12 persons watching and actually tuning in consistently. I appreciate it. 13 people now. But yeah, this match, you know, I've said what I have to say. You know, I'm Maresca out. I've been Maresca out secretively for the past 6 weeks. I've kept silent. I've not done streams because I know I would not have been, you know, logical when I'm ranting. I've done ranting before after the Ipswich match, and you know I didn't expect anything better. But I was thinking that we'd see some level of logic and reasoning skills and the better decision making for Maresca. But we see the result obviously against Legia Warsaw, the Polish greats historically. They're a great team in the Polish league, the top flight Polish league. And you know, we see that obviously, no surprise, there is 70% possession for Chelsea and 30% possession for Legia Warsaw. Expected goals, Legia Warsaw had a 2.2 XG. So they were expected to score more goals than us based on that performance alone. We had more total shots. We had more shots on target, which is fair play to Legia Warsaw's goalkeeper, because he had a daunting task to do in terms of how good we were in terms of going on the counter attack, which I'll give credit to the players who actually did well. I'm not going to give credit to Maresca because we saw the exact same quick counter attack football under Pochettino. So it's not a case where like these players were given a new form of life where they did some creative things that we've never seen before. We've seen that happen before. So I'm not going to give credits to Maresca for the beautiful quick movement football that we play, because we've done it before Maresca was even at the club. But 8 shots on target, as you saw, to Legia Warsaw's 5. We had 5 big chances to Legia Warsaw's 4. 4 big chances missed for us, which is atrocious. Legia Warsaw's defense was so solid, I'd have to say, because it could have been worse. They defended well. The goalkeeper defended well. I have to give them credit for that. And they've only missed 2 big chances. If they were able to score more goals, if their finishing and their attackers were greater at finishing, we would have lost this match and probably would have gone to additional time and probably extra time, and perhaps we'd have to see what happened there. But Legia Warsaw gave us a run for money. A lot of people say about the position was good and, oh, Maresca was the one that missed this. Oh, Maresca didn't miss that. I don't care. Stop making excuses for the man, because you should be able to see the profile of your players. People will say that Tosin has a mistake in him. There's a reason why players like Kurt Zuma, despite how good he can be at tackling, how much of a good shot stopper he can be in terms of blocking the ball, he was not a ball-playing defender. He left West Ham for a reason, because as a ball-playing defender, that was not his biggest strength or one of his greatest strengths either. Tosin is in that same boat as well. Ball playing, he's bad at that. Shot stopping, tremendous work. Tremendous work. He can stop the ball. He can make some crucial tackles. He can make some crucial blockage. That is what you see with him. But ball playing, that's not his game. Tosin is the same thing. Chalobah, I should say, is the same thing. And that is the situation. And so when Garvin was saying about, the fact that we may need some defenders, I would say we need defenders who are good on the ball. They can play the ball well. They're good ball play defenders. They can play to a point where they're controlling the tempo. They're able to manage the match and play at a pace that will actually show us actually doing sensible things with the possession, and not just having possession for the sake of possession and passing the ball backwards and sideways. That type of football, it's literally outdated. I've said it. People disagree with me. People say that we had injuries. People say this. People say that. That's garbage. We've seen that most of these players different type defender, and he was added recently. But the fact of the matter is, we have seen players like Cole Palmer, and I'm happy that I had on Wolfie and Garvin because they touched on something. And a video that I've been working on, and I've tried to publish it before this match so that the statistics about Cole Palmer would have been accurate. So when you see that video, just bear in mind that the video was recorded a while back, and I haven't been able to get it uploaded. There's been some errors with it going up. But the Cole Palmer video that I've done about why he's struggling, they've touched on it. And this is why I have massive respect for Garvin and Wolfie, because they've said exactly what I would have said in that. People may say Pochettino was not the greatest manager, and I agree with that. He was not the greatest manager for us. He definitely was not a tremendous option for us to have. But at the end of the day, he was able to make the tweaks. People will say that, Silva was the reason why this happened. Silva was the reason why that happened. Whatever the case may be. But it takes a proper manager to know when he's wrong, when it's time for him to make alterations for the betterment of the team. And decision making by Maresca is stupid. And it goes back to what I said. We saw the capabilities of Josh Acheampong in this match. He made some mistake because of how serious the match became. The desperations to not lose on the night. All of that played a big role in the mistakes that our defense made. We kept giving the ball away because they were trying to fight. You could see that they were trying to get the ball up the pitch, try to create something, and try to savage the match so that it would be embarrassing to be losing to Legia Warsaw. And when I say this, I'm not disrespecting the team, but on paper, when you look at on the capabilities of what Chelsea once were, because they're not the Chelsea of old. This is the new Chelsea, and I've come to terms with that. And I'm not going to say that as a team like Chelsea we should do this. No, because I've accepted the reality. I even spoke to my good friend Jerry about the fact that a lot of fans are stuck in the past of, this is not Chelsea. This is Chelsea. This is Chelsea. It's better you say that this is not the Chelsea you're used to, but this is Chelsea. The entity is still called Chelsea Football Club. It's not the London Cowboys or the blue Cowboys. It's Chelsea Football Club, the same club that was established in 1905. That is the exact same club. So whether or not you want to accept it or not, accept the reality. This is the same team that's 120 years old. It's just a case of we're in a transitional period, and people may say that things are not going to be beautiful and rosy because we're trying to evolve as a team, evolve as a club, and I get that. But it's important that you do things that can ensure that even if you lose matches, because I'm not stupid, I'm not going to expect the team to win every match. That is impossible. No team on the face of this earth that has existed for a long period of time has not ever not lost a match. That is the reality. You lose matches, you win matches, you draw matches. That's how football works. You drop points. That's what happens. But one of the key things is that if you lose a match and it's embarrassing, you don't, or if you drop points, or if you have to come from behind, like the case against Ipswich Town, you don't replicate the exact same thing. You ensure that the defense does not make the exact same mistakes. And that is important. And that's when analytical aspect comes into it. And we keep hearing that he watches matches over and over again. If you rewatch a match, why are you making the team do the exact same thing? Why are you not saying you need to do this, you need to do that? I don't see him say anything. And I'm going to go on to X to see what he said post-match about this result as well, because I want to see the garbage, because I know whatever comes out of his mouth is going to be garbage. It's going to be garbage that comes out of his mouth. So I'm going to go on to X right now and see what the Chelsea head coach, Enzo Maresca, had to say about this result. So, all right, so this is according to Chelsea Dodgers. I'll come back to the statistics. I'll go back to everything on FootMob. But I want to see what Enzo Maresca, the head coach of Chelsea Football Club, had to say. So starting with this quote, it's not going to be in order. I'll go down the tweets that would have been said. This is just the first one I see. So Enzo Maresca on the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. I think tonight, for me, tonight's environment was good. I didn't see any bad moments from the fans. I said already, we need to engage them is what we have to do. Okay, so that's kind of irrelevant. And somebody here says he's clueless. So let me move on. Let me move on to something else. So, right, so share this tab. So, Enzo Maresca, it's a learning process because of the amount of games we... Oh my goodness, you're taking the piss. Enzo Maresca, you're taking the piss. I cannot believe that this is the ridiculous thing that Maresca said. It's a learning process because of the amount of games we have had this season. You have to play every 3 days and decide when to rotate players. It's a learning process for me. Okay, so at least he's honest about how inexperienced he is and how of a poor manager he is. We have 8 games to go and they're all finals for us. At least he said some logic with that last statement there. All of these matches are finals. You have to treat them like finals. And I don't see Chelsea getting top 4. I don't see Chelsea getting top 5. I don't see Chelsea getting Champions League. And the only way they get Europa League, in my opinion, is if they win the Conference League. That's the only way. And, well, if they get 7th, considering the fact that they Europa League qualification, I don't even remember how it goes, because I know that because Arsenal won and they've gone to the semi-finals now, top 5th place will get Champions League. So I'm assuming that 6 would get Europa League. It's all of it's complex. But if we finish 7th, probably we'll get Europa League, which, in my opinion, I think we should build from the ground up in that sense of, okay, the team is young. If the model is a case where you sign a whole bunch of young players and you have minimal experience and you want the team to evolve together, lose together, come together as a unit, and probably have war stories of, remember when we were losing these matches and they grow and they build a dynasty. If that's the project, if that's the model of what Chelsea are trying to do, then fair enough. That's if they want to do that, then that's their decision. I'm not going to tell them otherwise because I have no say in whatever they want to do. And I don't think the fans have any point in this unless the owners see and the directors see that, okay, maybe tweaking it. You can sign young players because a lot of teams are signing young players for the future because that's how football is. You can't have 36-year-olds in your team because eventually they're gonna lose their feet if they haven't lost their feet already. The legs are gonna get weaker. They can't run as much. They're gonna be injury prone. So building for the future, there's nothing wrong with that. But get players that can actually enhance the capabilities and the competency of your team. Don't just have young players, and that is what Chelsea are right now. That's all they do. But let's move on to the next quote that I would have seen below this. So he said it's a learning process. So that's from PYS. Let me see what else is here. All right, Maresca on strikers not scoring. This is a courtesy of CLC Daily quoting Bobby Vince NFL. Maresca on strikers not scoring, especially the ones that we are missing, unfortunately, are very easy goals. In the first 5 minutes, we had 2 good chances. It can happen. Hopefully, Nico and Cole can very soon start to score goals, which is true. Fine, I'll give him that. But at the same time, if you realize that this is the case, if you're trying to play these players into form, it's not going to work because the pressure is going to be on them to deliver. We saw Madueke come on. He had a chance. He cuts it onto his left foot, trying to curl it in. It went over the bar. Madueke, he's trying. I have to give him credit for that. He's trying. Neto came on. He's trying. Tarek George came on. He scored a goal. It was outside, unfortunately. We're creating opportunities. So I'll give the team that. It's not like we're doing poorly and we're not creating chances or 14th. I'm not being illogical about it. But my problem is Maresca is not even tweaking anything at all. People say that he's tweaking, but it's not. Because if you're using Cole Palmer as a playmaker, if you're trying to let him be the creator, he's trying to be the one that collects the ball from the deep lying midfielders as the deep lying playmakers to be the advanced playmaker. If that's what you want him to do, you're doing madness, because that is not his game. And I would like to think that as a person that would have been the development squad coach, that would have had Cole Palmer at his exposure, and at his disposal as well. Romeo Lavia, plays like that, he would have seen the strengths of the player. You've been a coach for basically almost a year, and you're telling me that after 9 months, you cannot see the strengths, the weaknesses of your players. You cannot do anything about it. Try something new. That's all I'm asking. And you're not doing that. I can't have respect for you as a coach, because your decision making is trash. You're doing garbage. But let me move on back to the statistics as I try to conclude this, because I don't want to be talking upon end. And also, I see a message, DJ. Let me go back to the chat quickly, and then I'll send the link to you as well, DJ. So big up Ty, just getting home from a disappointing match. We were bad. That football tonight drops, bro. Second match in a row going behind at home. Fans are getting very restless with this manager now, 100%, and I've grown tired of this man. I've grown frustrated with him as well. I have to be honest. I'm fed up. I'm absolutely fed up. Absolutely fed up. Absolutely fed up. Absolutely fed up. I swear. I'm absolutely fed up with this manager. 100%. 100%. All right, let's see what else you say here. I send a link to you, DJ. So when you get the link, let me know. Big up to the comments, smash the likes, and subscribe. Ty, this team is not ready for Champions League football. Yeah, we had this conversation on Sunday. Yeah, definitely. And that's what I'm saying. If we can get Europa League, start from there. Because this young team is not ready for the Champions League. Let us, if you want to build a blueprint, if you want to build a project with young players, let it be a case where you allow them the opportunity to play from the matches or the competition where the pressure will not be that high. I mean, we saw with how drama filled the match between Man United and Lyon was. Man United winning 5-4, I believe the final score was. In extra time, in the 120 plus minute, Man United got the winning goal, and they've gone through to the semi-finals. I think Spurs have also gone through as well. So we see that Europa League it's highly competitive as well, but the Champions League is way more competitive. So big up to you, DJ. I don't know how much you caught of my rants, but for the past hour, I had on Wolfgang Division, I had Garvin on, and you're the third panelist to join me. I think Bobby may join soon. I didn't check X. I realized he was asking for the link, so let's see if he joins. But how you doing, my brother? I know you said you're disappointed and you were at the match.
Mate, I'm sorry, Ty. I didn't get a chance to watch your stream, bro. I mean, as I only just got back not that long ago.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Coming back watching that tonight. I mean, I just can't believe that we've literally more or less lost to a team that has never beaten an English team in the Champions. They've never beaten an English team in Europe whatsoever, whether it's a Cup Winners' Cup, Champions League, Europa Cup, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Okay. They've also let a player score tonight that hasn't scored in 13 matches, and he broke his duck tonight. The guy who scored his first goal tonight. Yeah. Okay. That's how embarrassing it was tonight, right? And the fact that obviously, again, the fact of the matter is that Cucurella was our saviour tonight in scoring that goal tonight just shows you how low our team has gone under this gaffer. And I'm sorry, people can come at me and say whatever they want to say. I've tried to be as patient as possibly can, but this guy needs to go now. If he doesn't go, we're not going to salvage our season, bro. This guy clearly does not know what he's doing. Again, his lineup tonight was a good lineup, I have to say. Very good lineup. But again,
very strong. It was a very strong lineup. I was wondering why Palmer was even starting.
Again, he's risked Cole Palmer again tonight, who actually got a bad kick in his ankle again tonight. Okay, this is why the guy was struggling afterwards. He came on and came off obviously in the second half. As I said to you before, bro, people don't realize this, but he's playing with pain injections in his ankle, and all that injury
Yeah.
tonight is probably he's been kicked in that same place again tonight. This guy is gonna more or less ruin this kid's career, and and I can see why he went onto Instagram a couple of days ago and said he misses Poch's football, and because of the way this guy is managing him at the moment, and at the moment, yeah, the way it's all going, we don't deserve Champions League football. I hope we don't get it. Obviously for the sake of the money. Obviously we need it. But I tell you what, mate, we've gone and lost to a team that's never won a club, never beaten an English team in Europe, right? And then you're playing Fulham on Sunday, and you expect us to go and get a result down there. Are we? I mean, this
Yeah.
is a joke. It's a joke, bro.
Check the private chat quickly, DJ. Check the private chat
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, bro. Chat. Okay, bro. All right, fair enough. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
You want me?
you can continue. You can continue talking. I'll be back.
All right, well. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look, big up to everyone in the comment section whoever's still here and remaining. People are probably going to want to come and challenge me and hear what I have to say. But I've said it already, and I'm going to say it again. Yeah, the performance tonight was absolutely well, it was we played okay, but it wasn't Chelsea, mate. And I've said it already. I just don't recognise my club now these days. The football that we're playing. I mean, I have to say this right now. I'm going to say it right now. Our football's better under Pochettino last season than it was under this guy, and that is saying something. And we all know how we all feel about Poch, Chelsea fans on here. Yeah, being a Spursy boy, an ex-Spursy boss, right? Well, no one liked him, but I tell you what, he would have not lost. He would have not lost this game tonight. Let's put it that way. And yeah, it was just embarrassing. It really was embarrassing, and I don't see us. I do not see us. I don't see us getting into the Champions League. I'm going to be real here, and if we do get into that competition, we might as well say goodnight to it straight away because this team is not suited for the Champions League at the moment. Not the way things are, and yeah, fans are probably going to challenge me on it. They're more than welcome to come and challenge me. I'm saying what I say and feel, and usually I'm one of the most positive Chelsea. Those that have known me over years, since I've been doing streaming with you guys, or everyone that's been streaming with me, who knows, I'm one of the most positive Chelsea fans that's ever been around. Being a fan of the club since the '80s, right? I've seen worse, obviously, for us back in the day, but this now, it looks like them days. Um, and it's starting to get embarrassed. It's getting to that stage where the players are just now. I think the players are also they don't know what they're doing under. I think they're starting to lose faith with this manager as well. And if it carries on, we all know it's going to end one way. But again, I keep saying it. There's no point in getting rid of Maresca because again, I don't trust the sporting directors to make the right decision to bring the right person in. It's as simple as that. And they're going to mess it up again even if he was to get sacked. So either way, we're screwed. Let's put it that way. We're screwed either way. Whoever comes in, whoever goes out, these directors need to go first before anything, and followed by the ownership. I'm going to call them out again because what they've done since they've come to this football club, they've taken us down. And I really start hoping now fans will open their eyes, start smelling the coffee and realizing what's going on with our football club. Because if you don't, yeah, this is just going to end in one way, and it's not going to be a very nice way. That's all I've got to say about that. I hopefully Ty's back on again, but that's all I've got to say about that. So, as I said, yeah, I look forward to everyone's comments in the comment section. Yeah, it looks like Ty's not back yet, people. In the comment sections, so I guess I'm still talking away here. Yeah, I mean, look, the only highlight I got when I left Stamford Bridge today, when I actually left the game today, was the fact that I saw Manchester United were losing in their game, and then I come back to hearing they pulled it around. And apparently, it was what a game, and they've gone through. So the clubs that have gone through tonight in Tottenham and Manchester United, and we're the only ones that have failed tonight as an English club tonight. That's embarrassing. And on top of all that, at Stamford Bridge, which makes it even more bitter when I see that happening as well tonight. So yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't see the game, but I got a lot of saying United said they played very well to come back into the game. I know comments that Leon went down to 10 men. Not Leon, sorry. Went down to 10 men tonight. The French team they were playing. And obviously they took an excellent lead. But obviously United came back. Obviously well done for them for coming back into that. But at least they showed the minerals to come back into this game and make their fans proud. Because obviously, let's be real here, United are not going to get anywhere near the Champions League in their position in the league. But at least they know if they go and win this Europa tonight, they'll get into. If they do win the Europa, they'll get into the Champions League. So that's their saving grace. Our saving grace will be if we win this cup competition, we're going to get in the Europa because there's no way we're going to get into the Champions League. So let's be real here, as a fan base. But yeah, Ty, I hope you're back now, bro.
Yeah, I'm back. Let me just set myself back up. All right. Sorry about that. I left you in limbo for the last 7 minutes.
That's all right, bro. That's all right. I just sorry if I ranted on here. But like I said, the only happiness I got when I left the bridge today was I saw that United were 4-2 down today in their game, and it went to extra time, obviously. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, at least that's something to cheer about because obviously Tottenham ruined my night. Arsenal ruined my night yesterday. Okay, as it is. And Tottenham ruined it again tonight for me as well. And now United have gone and done the same thing again. So we're the only team here tonight in England that have lost our game. And on top of that, the embarrassing thing of all is, right, it's been lost at Stamford Bridge. That hurts even more, mate. It hurts even more at Stamford Bridge as well, mate. And to a team that's never beaten a top opposition team in England whatsoever. That makes it even worse. And listen, they're very good in their league. I'm not going to sit here and say they were crap tonight because they deserved it because they played well. In fact, they could have actually got more than one goal tonight. Oh, sorry, more than 2 goals tonight.
Yeah.
To be fair to them. But I just don't know. I don't know what happened to us tonight. We folded tonight, Ty. We got back into the game. I saw obviously I know Cucurella had a goal. Had a goal chalked off as well because of offside. All right, tonight as well. But he again was the only one that got us our goals tonight, bro. One being 1 goal and one being an offside goal. What does that tell you about our attack? Jackson was absolutely crap tonight. I don't know what he was even doing on the pitch tonight. I really don't know. I know he has to salvage his minutes or whatever. He needs his minutes, but I don't know what he was doing tonight. Jackson, Palmer, again trying. Again, you saw in the first. I don't know if you are obviously watching it. He had that first opportunity in the first. I do believe in the first 30 or first 2 minutes of the game when he blazed just wide over the bar. Usually a fit Cole Palmer puts that ball in the back of the net from that angle. Yeah. But today he blazed it wide. His decision making at this moment in time, Cole Palmer, and this is why people are saying people are wrapping up. A lot of Chelsea fans are wrapping up this kid in cotton wool, yeah, but don't want to come out and criticize him. I will criticize him, yeah. Okay, because what he should have done, he should have scored in many games, but his GA is still high up there. Yeah, for one. Secondly, yeah, people are not realizing this kid saved us from relegation last year when we were going to get relegated. He saved us his goals. So he's entitled. And he started off this season, he started off pretty well as well. It's just since he's had that injury, he's not been the same player. And let's be real here, and I said it already before. When you got a bad injury and you've had about 3 specialists that have seen you, okay, and they're telling you his injury is not that great. His injuries, he shouldn't, he needs a bit more rest here. And they're giving him painkiller injections to ease the pain down. I don't care who you are. You can be Messi, you can be Ronaldo, you can be Salah, you can be whoever it might be. You are not going to be the same player. And Chelsea fans need to start to realise that because I've seen a lot of them in the past couple of weeks come at this kid. But if they only knew why he's the way he is at this moment in time, Because last season, everyone was singing the kids' praises. Cole Palmer FC, this, Cole Palmer. I'm sorry to say this, but we are Cole Palmer FC. Still. Because there's no one else around that team that is helping this kid out. Obviously, Caicedo's come into his own. Enzo's come into his own now, right? This season, right? Okay. Obviously, you've had Madaway. Noni scores some goals here. Obviously, you know, they've all got their, but it's not good enough. They shouldn't be relying on Cole Palmer all the time, and this is exactly what they're doing. And tonight, and now of late, this kid is now starting to regress now because he's been relied upon too much by our manager, and he's still playing him while he's got an injury. Does that not give you Reece James vibes, bringing him back so early? And look what happened to him. The same with Lavia. You brought him back early, and look what happened to him. Fofana, the same. Look what's going to happen to him again. I mean, are we not starting to realise this? Do you get me? How many plays is this going to be? You know, and people moan about Fofana. I reckon on his day when Fofana's fit, I think he's one of our best centre backs at the club. I know people have got different views and opinions of it. For me, he's one of our best centre backs at the football club when he's fully fit. I think everyone knows that. Caicedo, Lavia, sorry. Lavia, we all know what this kid is like when he's fully fit. Yeah. Reece James is saying when he's fully fit as a right back, we all know what he's all about. It's like, bruv, it's just, nah. At the moment, mate, as I said, you know, anyone thinking Champions League football is going to be a must, is going to be, but trust me, we're not getting Champions League football. I'm sorry, but we're not.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, look at this. Look at what Reece James says here too. He says, today, that was for sure not progress. If anything, it was a step back. Maybe we disrespect to the competition today, but this is football. If you don't prepare right, you will pay. Which that does not sound good to be heard from your captain. You don't prepare right.
That's coming at the manager to me. Those words are.
Yeah. You don't prepare right, you know. That's the key part. You don't prepare right. So
yeah, but don't worry, Ty. Don't worry, Ty. Fans will be coming at Reece James as they always like to do, because let's be real here, Maresca can't do no wrong. Yeah. So instead, get Reece James out of the football club. Yeah, get him out. That's what it's going to be about with some of the fan base.
Look at this comment.
That's what they're going to do. Yeah.
Look at this comment. If you don't prepare right, can you get more damning of the person whose job it is to get them prepared?
Exactly,
wow, I love that comment.
Exactly,
because clear disrespect, randomly changing styles and players. Well, we have the goal difference to do all this. Yeah. Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
The coach isn't intelligent enough. Okay, I don't want to see that comment pop by Paul Chelsea, but just look at him. He looks confused, not confident and lost. That shows how the club is in trouble within it. So you see, if it wasn't for copyright, I would let the video play, but so you could actually see what they're talking about. But yeah, you could literally see Reece James is not happy because listen, Reece James is a winner. He's won the Champions League.
He is.
He's used to having top managers coaching him.
Ty, now you're talking.
Inexperienced manager.
Ty, bruv, you're talking my language now, mate. You just said that word. He's won the Champions League. This guy knows what it's like to win for this football club. Yeah, just like
he's the only player left. If you think about it, he's the only player. He's the last player of the Champions League winning team.
Well, I think there's actually three. I mean, obviously, I know Chile's out on loan, okay, and he's been treated. Let's be real here. This guy's been treated. Yeah. This guy's been treated badly by the football club as well. Yeah, let's be real. And thirdly, I think Chalobah's part of it as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was as well, wasn't he?
No. Chalobah came back for the Super Cup.
That was a Super Cup. Oh, okay. I thought he was actually amongst that though. Was he not amongst the team? But he just didn't play.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't at all. No. He was on loan. Chalobah wasn't a part of the team. He came back. And then he was playing in pre-season, and then Tuchel loved him, and then he said, I'm trusting in the Super Cup final against.
That's right, bro. You're right. Yeah. No, man. Listen, mate. As I said it already, I mean,
and this as well.
Yeah. I mean, I said, look, he got it right tonight because, like I said, the mistake we said on Saturday was right. On Sunday, sorry, was he played Chalobah as a right back when tonight he got it spot on tonight with the lineup tonight in terms of his playing plays in the right positions. Right. Again, though, what I was saying is you're still playing Cole Palmer for me out of position, and you're still making this kid play as an attacking midfielder when we all know he can either play well on the left or he can play well on the right. Maresca's put him in there as an attacking midfield. And again, Reece James. Everyone knows here, Reece James is our best right back at the football club, and you're playing him in midfield because our manager decided to get rid of all the club and the directors, along with the manager's our managers to give the go ahead. We got rid of all our good midfielders to let them go and be loaned out in January. So now, we're left with poor Reece James, who's probably our best right back, playing as a midfielder. Oh, because he played it in his career. He played it at when he was on loan. Yeah, he played it on loan, so he's brilliant at it. No, he's not. He's good at it, yes, because he had to do it getting into teams. Obviously, I know every player has to start up playing in different positions, right? But we all know his preference position and how Thomas Tuchel looked at it when he had him. He's a press right back, and he proved that to me. But this guy wants to
Yeah.
experiment.
You know,
and put him as
it's
a
funny
midfielder.
though. You know, it's funny though. You know, it's funny.
What's that?
If he's using to say that, oh, he's done this before, let's not forget, Reece James started out as a striker. We're going to do pretty much striker because he used to play there too. That's foolishness.
I'll be surprised if he does that next.
That's a good question. Jesus is King. Big up to you, Jesus is King. It's been a while since I've seen you, on a live stream. But yeah, and that's why. Listen, Renato Vega left because he knew that he was not going to get to play as a centre back. He kept having to play as a fullback, and then even as a fullback, he was even getting to play there as much as he wanted to. So, and obviously we know that he wasn't playing for the Portuguese national team. So the Portugal national team, I should say. What am I saying? Portugal national team as a Portuguese. So he obviously had to leave because when you hear the manager saying that, oh, we have these certain players, so you cannot play. That's not good because you're making it seem like these players they're not good enough. They as much as they try their hardest in the Conference League, they're never gonna play because you have one team that you have favorites and then another team where they just rotating. No. And I get it. People are saying Felix doesn't offer a lot in terms of scoring, but all your attackers don't need to be high scoring players, as long as they're able to drop deep. And I think that this game would have suited Felix to a T. And this is the thing, Felix, in terms of finishing, that's not his game. But one thing that Felix gives you that a lot of teams, but it's like a deep lying forward supporting striker where he gets the ball deep, he distributes it. He's a playmaker. He's a player that you should be playing. He's telling me, we'll hear him saying garbage about, oh, we can't play both of them. That's ridiculous. But because he knew that he can't bench Enzo Fernandez because of the price tag, he's saying, no, I can only play one. But that's garbage because both players can play. Because Cole Palmer is one that is an advanced player as Wolfie said when he was on earlier, who's like a Lampard, a goal-scoring midfielder. That is what you get from Cole Palmer. So when he was saying garbage about, oh, he can't play Felix and Cole Palmer, that was garbage. He didn't want to do it because Enzo Fernandez would have to be dropped out of the team to accommodate another player. And that's what I said, I kept saying this. I kept saying this for months. And I remember saying this last year as well. When I said that if you want to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez, you need another midfielder. So that's the case.
Nah, bro, look, I get you what you're saying, man, 100%. As well on that. But see, the problem I have is right here is we all know Enzo. Okay, look, listen, I agree. João Felix, for me, should have not gone in the first place. And I know there's a lot of fans that are saying, well, he didn't want to be at the football club, so why keep an unhappy player? Because all it's going to do is upset the changing room. At the end of the day, it's not the case. He would have played had he known he'd have got a bit of a prominent role at the club. He would have stayed because he came back to Chelsea because he said he had unfinished business and he wanted to come back to it. All right, okay. And as usual, instead of our manager actually giving this kid a chance to play, and I call him a kid even though he's 25 years old. For me, he's still got a baby face, João Felix, right? Yeah, and he's still people, and he's been out for. I know he's been out for a long. He's been around for a long time. But you still look at him, he still looks like a kid looking at him, right? Yeah, okay. And for me, yeah, he should have got more of a chance. He should have got more of a chance, but he didn't. Our manager decided that he wasn't the case. That obviously the sporting directors made that decision. And again, you look back on it and say again, it's called bad management and again, bad transfer business, because why go and sign a player that you've just brought in and then you get rid of him after 6 months at your football club? It just don't make no sense. It does not make sense. And we could have done with him in this game tonight. Because again, you look at our bench tonight. Look, I am one for giving our young players a chance, right? Yeah. You look at our bench tonight. Okay, apart from Pedro Neto, Noni Madueke, who else was on there? Apart from those two, I do believe everyone else were all from most of them all from our academy. If you look at that bench tonight, yeah. And big up to
Yeah,
Tyreek
and
George,
that's
because
the thing.
obviously,
That's the sad thing because
I mean, obviously,
I thought players like Maresca could come on and
yeah,
obviously there was what's this guy? I think I
and
forgot his name. There's this midfielder that
and
was on the bench.
yeah, Emanalo's son was there. Emanalo's son was on the bench
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
by
yeah,
the
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I thought, okay, it just shows you how our squad is so thinned out because they decided to get rid of the experienced players that we had. And I'm talking about the likes of obviously Chukwuemeka. Okay, he's young, but he's still more experienced compared to the lads that were on the bench today. Yeah. You then look at João Felix, one who's experienced, who was again not there today, but we could have done with him. Obviously, and I'll tell you this right now, yeah, I miss Mihailo Mudryk. We could have done with him tonight.
Mm.
Honestly,
I miss the speed and
yeah,
the pressing that he would do because he's a runner. He runs for the ball.
yeah. And and so far, I don't think he's put a foot wrong since he's actually been in this competition with us. To be fair to him, right? I think he's actually been one of our better performers when he's been on this. But we don't even have him, right? So you look at all that, yeah, and look around all the experienced players. Obviously, all the experienced players that are around, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I mean, you decided to get rid of them all, and now we're stuck like this. And then people look to players who can make a difference and come off the bench, right? Okay, obviously people look to Pedro Neto, who I have to say at this moment in time is going through a bad time at the moment, like all the other players are. He's not he's not the Pedro Neto from his Wolves days. Well, he was in the beginning, but obviously he's regressed. All right, and I have to ask the question why he's regressed. Okay, You then look at who else was on there? Noni. Okay, he was doing pretty well. He obviously came on tonight. He was making things happen tonight. To be fair to him, he was trying. Okay, but again, maybe because he's just come back from injury, he's still trying to get back into the game again. Okay, people have got to realize that's the other thing. Coming back from injury, right? You're not always going to be the same. And obviously, he got those 2 goals last week when we played in the first leg. He scored, but but he's still, for me, he's still not fully fit. And again, you keep looking around and thinking, players come back from injury, and we let loads of others go out on loan that we shouldn't have, when we could have done with these guys tonight. It's just a joke, mate. It really is. I'm sorry, it is.
Yeah,
No.
look at this too. Look at this. Look at the Legia Warsaw manager taking the piss and teasing Chelsea, man. We knew this Stamford Bridge was not the loudest stadium, and we will feel the presence of our fans. Listen, I had to tweet this as well. I had to say it was like I was watching Comedy Central. I was like, what the hell is going on? The ball hitting the post, the penalty that was given away. We're seeing the fans of Legia Warsaw shirtless, a whole bunch of that. I just started laughing. That's what made me laugh while I was watching this horrible performance from Chelsea. It was just hilarious to be seeing them shirtless and celebrating and singing it in the Polish language and all that. It was just hilarious, man.
But the worst thing about tonight as well, Ty. Speaking of the atmosphere, right? Okay, I don't know if you saw. I was there. Obviously I was at the game, right? But fans were actually leaving. I think it was 4, 5, 6 minutes before the game was finishing. And people are going to call them wrong'uns for leaving that pitch. I can tell you what, they're not wrong'uns for leaving early. They left here because they just got tired of what they were seeing. And this guy is
it wasn't money's worth. They spent money on it.
And again, he's sitting there. All right. Again, he's not being as he should be, as a manager should be, on the touchline. Again, he's putting his head down. I'm thinking, mate, you're the one that's put this team out. The plays clearly. I'm looking again tonight. And I'm thinking. I sometimes feel some of these plays, not all, but some of these plays have definitely lost. Don't want to play. Don't want to play under him, because I just look at it and I'm thinking how. Because look at Poch last season. People were saying how bad he was, but I don't think there was a single player. I can't count a single player under Poch that didn't want to play for him. He's starting to get this now at Chelsea. The players are even looking at him. I think sometimes thinking, "Do you know what you're doing yourself here?" Because I don't think he does, and he has no plan. He has no plan B. This is the other problem. The guy, and he even said it on his how shameless he was yesterday on his press conference. I can only play one way. I don't know any other. I mean, you're coming out. You're a coach, mate. You're a coach, and you're saying you don't know any other way of playing. So you can't change things up when things are bad. You can't make a change in the team. Who are you? I mean, we were warned by Leicester fans, weren't we, as well, Ty? We were warned by Leicester fans. A lot of them said second half syndrome is not great for him. He almost blew Leicester's title when obviously when they won the first division. He almost blew that when they got promoted. And I can look at it now. This second half of the season under this guy. I don't think I've ever seen a worse team regress as we have under this guy. And yeah, you can blame the players. And listen, I'm not going to put this all on Maresca, because for me, the players, you put on that shirt, yeah, you should go out there and play for the crowd, you play for the club and everything, right? At the same time, though, I also feel that some of the players at the same time are looking at this guy and thinking, mate, what are you doing as well? Because, he's clearly out of his depth, bro. I'm sorry. And people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. I know you got other fans out there and people that got their channels and thinking differently. Oh, everyone's on Maresca. People saying, oh, it's not Maresca, it's the players. It's not Maresca, it's the players. Yeah, you're right. It is the players, but it's also Maresca as well. Why is no one blaming this manager? Why is it all on the players?
But sorry, not to cut you, but I just want to add this in and they continue. So why was that argument not raised for Pochettino? Because Pochettino was also his worst enemy as well. But why was it just Pochettino? Why was it not the players as well? Because I remember when he made that. Oh, Bobby's here. Oh my word. I'm so sorry again, Bobby. I didn't realize that you were there, man. Listen, the new setup of StreamYard is crazy. I just saw that you said something in the private chat. But I'm gonna let DJ continue what he's saying, and I'll allow you to speak over it. I'm so sorry again, Bobby.
It's great to see my brother Bobby here, man. Big up to him, man. Big up to Bobby. It's great to see him back here. And I know, listen, I just want to sit here. I just want to sit now. Ty, when you give him a chance, you give it all to Bobby. I just want to hear what he has to say here, because I already know what's going to come out, but I just want to hear it all. Yeah, big up to you, Bobby, man. And obviously, again, as I said, everyone in the comments,
big up, Bobby, man. Sorry again, man. Sorry about that, man. When he joined the first time, I was away, man. Sorry about that.
Yeah, big up, guys. Big up, guys. There's two things that DJ has just said, which resonates with me. One, when Maresca said that he can't play any other way, I was deeply concerned with that statement in his press conference. And two, that the Leicester fans warned us of the second part of the season demise. This was dreadful. This was dreadful. It just seems the more time this team is given to train, the worse they perform. That was an awful performance. Yes, there was a couple of goals disallowed. Yes, they did their customary missing chances. But still, he gets these players to play themselves under pressure. They pass the ball at the back until they lose the ball. He threatens his goalkeepers that they must play it out of the back when it's unnecessary. You're passing backwards when a team has sat back waiting for you. There's nothing progressive about his football. That's why the team always look laboured, always look as if they're struggling to make their way through. Because they try they pass the ball to death. They pass the ball at the back, and when they do go on a break, they try and pass the ball into the net. That's why they keep getting themselves offside all the time. Nobody's really shooting correctly. But you know where I do blame the players is that when they do have the chance to shoot, the shots are weak. The players are weak. The players are weak. We've got two top players that, if I may coin a phrase from coach, are working from home. Lavia apparently is supposed to be training. We didn't even see him on the bench. This was awful. You know, Reece James was making all sorts of mistakes, passing the ball backwards. Um, I can't see a way forward. I can't even see a way forward for us in this competition. And playing Fulham deeply concerns me. We can't play them like this. Yeah, you can say Caicedo and Enzo were rested, but that's about it. You know, they won't make any difference to this system of play. I'm deeply concerned. I can't think of top five. I can't even think of this competition. To be honest, I'm very worried because unless he changes it again, he's just telling us that everybody can work him out. He's going to continue to be predictable, and the team will go nowhere very quickly if this continues.
And I'll say another thing, Bobby. I was at the game tonight, mate. So you can imagine how I was what I was watching tonight. Yeah. Okay. What I would say as well is, I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was about, as I was saying to Ty earlier, I think it was about 4 or 5 minutes before the end of the game. Fans were leaving, bro. Fans were actually
Yeah,
getting out and they were leaving the bridge. I actually saw that from where I was sitting, seeing them leave, and I'm thinking, oh my God. This is now, when that starts happening. Listen, the mistake he made, Bobby, right? This is the other thing I'll also say, bro, right? Yeah. As
the
well.
mistake he made many.
The one mistake he did on Sunday, bro, was the worst thing you could ever do. And that was you come at the Chelsea fan base by blaming the atmosphere. Yeah, that was the one thing he should not have done and said on Sunday, because all he's proved today now is the fans are right to walk away from that game today.
Yeah.
7th, and people go around saying they're plastic fans. Why did you come and why did you bother to come? No, it's not like that at all. Fans were I could sense it. Fans are starting to get frustrated now with what's going on at that ground now. And it's and people are gonna it's not all on, it's not at the players. Yeah, some of them are drained at the players, yeah, but a lot of it is now coming towards Maresca, the ownership, and also the sporting directors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to hear about the ownership, to be honest. The
Yeah,
sporting directors, yeah, but the
yeah,
ownership is
yeah.
just getting a
But a
bit
lot of it,
silly.
I know it
You
is, it
know,
is. But what I'm
who,
saying is, what I'll
you
say
know,
is, it's a lot of it's more towards the manager as well, bro. It's coming towards the manager now.
it has to be the manager and the sporting
And
directors.
and,
You know, the
and
owners have done what they can do.
yeah,
You know, you've got to
but
be owned by somebody in this
no, I
Premier League,
agree. But I think
and
what's
it's
happening.
not going to be another Roman Abramovich.
No, no,
Those
no, no,
days
no.
are
No one's
gone.
saying that. No one is saying that, Boyd. But I think what the fans are basically saying, and this is what I've been saying all along, Bobby,
Mm,
is that it's all well good. Yeah, things have changed. PSR's changed.
yeah.
FFP's changed. We know that. But you can still bring experienced players in there to help the
I
younger
think
players out.
if you give Maresca experienced players, he will still throw games like
You
he's
think?
doing now.
He
He's
must be
he,
much of the worst manager, bro, than ever. That is the case, bruv.
yeah.
That is he's not
I
fit
mean,
for Chelsea, is he? 100% then.
honestly, today was. I blame that debacle today 100% on him. His tactics were diabolical. You could see the players were instructed to play the ball at the back. I wouldn't be surprised if that was what he was shouting on the sidelines. And they kept inviting pressure because they kept losing the ball, because it was easy to high press them when they're doing this. There was no ball over the top, nothing. Nothing. It's all him. I think we need to streamline our complaints to make it effective. Complaining about the owners is just it's a you're not going to get anywhere. You know, they've invested too much money. Even if they pack it all in today, you're going to get somebody maybe 20 times worse. And it's just going to send the club down the drain because it's all going to start again and money being ejected into the club. And it's nonsense. It has to be it has to be a surgical complaint, if I may use that word. And it comes down to Maresca. It comes down to the sporting directors and their squad planning, because that's just BS. They didn't get a striker. They need a goalkeeper. That John Roberts and his flipping Sanchez should go and do one. And this kid Jorgensen is copying him. Now Jorgensen, I think, would probably be a bit better, although that flipping penalty he sort of weakly tried to save was a disgrace. But I think he'll do better if he's allowed to play the ball long. Maresca is stifling these players. Look at Achimpong, wonderful player, Rolls Royce of a player, but he's been stifled. He has to play the ball back until he loses the ball. That's where my gripe is. However, where I turn to the owners, and I still turn to the fans, I'm tired of these pitch owners now. I'm fed up with them. You know, the 1990s have long gone. We need to move forward. That club cannot remain in that stadium the way it is. And if we can't expand the stadium, the ownership, well, if we're so attached to the stadium, they can keep it, but they must buy elsewhere, because we can't do this. We can't keep watching Chelsea having prominence of away fans. Looking at all those shirtless fools jumping up and down, lighting flares. Where do you think you are? This is Chelsea Football Club. They should be hidden somewhere up in the stands. You'll never see Chelsea fans do this at any stadium, not to mention at big European stadiums.
That
We're
was
up.
embarrassing.
You know, we're
At our
up
home
in the
ground.
stands somewhere. You won't see us. But here, the TV cameras all over these geezers, and they
Yeah.
they are looking like the home support, and that in itself puts off the fans. I mean, puts off the players. They outsing our fans. No, and pitch owners, I've had enough. Oh, the Chelsea owners, go and get a new stadium built. Yes, you can keep Stamford Bridge, maybe use it for youth games and all that sort of thing. Fine, but Chelsea Football Club must expand. This is nonsense. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing? We can't keep these stupid sentiments. Sometimes people have to move on to do things bigger and better. I don't want to see that anymore. I really don't. Every away fan, you see them so prominently at Stamford Bridge. BS. BS. That just makes it all worse for me. I was so sickened today by what I saw on the pitch and in the stands. And if people were walking away, that made it even worse. You know, because well, they have a right to. I would have left if I went today, to be honest. Because that geezer, I can categorically say I don't think he knows. He hasn't got a clue. If you're so hell bent on playing a certain way at all costs,
Mm.
and it will cost him, then bye bye. There's no point. There's no point because he's not going to get the club anywhere like that.
Well, we were warned about him, weren't we, Bobby?
We were.
We were warned.
We
We
were.
were warned about Maresca. And and I know obviously some of the fans were very happy that we actually got him in. I still keep looking back now, and I always say hindsight's a wonderful thing, and I keep saying it all the time. I keep looking back at the managers that we were linked with before this guy took over. And you have to ask the question. I mean, I'll say one thing, right? Yeah, if we were playing. I would say we'd be playing this kind of football, but if we were playing this kind of way, if you had someone like, I don't know, if you had someone like a Luis Enrique in charge, a Nagelsmann, or even a Hansi Flick, I think the fans could actually get on board and say, okay, we got an excellent top manager. He'll get the best out of these players because that manager's not going to stand. And none of those managers they're born winners. They're not going to stand for any of this nonsense, right? I think with this guy, apart from obviously getting, obviously being Pep's disciple at Manchester City,
Oh,
And
screw that.
I know, bro, and I know it's hard to say. I know it's a worst thing, but it's true. Yeah, apart from being
Mm.
that, and then he comes to Chelsea. He comes roping into Chelsea Football Club, trying to be like the Pep Guardiola of Chelsea Football Club. He just can't. He just can't do it, bruv. I mean, there's only one Pep. We all know that. Yeah, and he's trying to copy his ways of trying to play football. But Pep actually can. With Pep though, he knows how to change games when he needs to change games. This guy hasn't got a clue. And I think we've seen this now. And the other thing I'll also say, people go on that people come a lot. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say this is not all on Maresca, yeah, because the players also got to be accountable as well for a lot of this as well. But what I will also say, okay, is when you're playing Cole Palmer as often as you're doing right now, and this guy's actually having pain injections in his ankles before every match now. Okay, what does he expect this kid to do? And as I said to Ty the other day, just a couple of minutes ago, you can be Lionel Messi, you can be Mo Salah, you can be Cristiano Ronaldo, right? If you've got a bad injury in an ankle, wherever it might be, and you're having pain injections to actually help the pain during a game of 90 minutes, a hard slogging game of 90 minutes, it might even be slogging game, but just a game of 90 minutes, right? It's not going to help you at all. You're not going to perform.
Who's this,
And
though?
huh?
Who's this
Sorry,
with the injury to the ankle? Sorry, I
Cole
missed that.
Palmer. Cole Palmer.
Oh, right. But he took him off in the end, didn't he?
He took him off, but that's because he got a kick. As you saw in the first half, he got a kick again in his ankle.
Mm.
He's not playing comfortably at the moment, and a lot of fans are coming at this kid because of what he did for his last season. Because they keep comparing him to. Listen, I said it already, right? He has dropped off Cole Palmer, but he still started the season off pretty well first half of the season. But when he obviously got that injury, he's not been the same player. And I think the problem we had is too many of our fan base was relying on Cole Palmer FC. That's why we're known as Cole Palmer FC. Too much of the fans were relying on Cole Palmer to get out of a jam. And now that he's not doing it now, fans are coming at this kid, which, okay, rightfully so. They have their rights to views and opinions. I agree on all that. You have your rights to. But I always like to also tell the fan base as well, some of the fans out there, if it wasn't for his goals last season, we would have been relegated. That's just facts. We would have been relegated. But people seem to forget that very quickly. And because he's not doing it this season as great as his GA is still great, but he's not scored goal. I don't think he's scored a goal for Chelsea since January, if I'm not mistaken. Right, and that was it. He's not scored goals after that since he's got that injury. And people are thinking, oh, Cole Palmer's this, Cole Palmer's that. Again, I'm not taking up for the plays. I'm just saying it as it is as well. That yes, a lot of the plays have to be accountable. But when you're coming at plays like Cole Palmer, okay, and things like that, people have got to realize why this kid is not playing the way he should be playing at this moment in time. And the more you continue doing this, let's be real here. You brought Reece James back early, right? Look what's happened to him. You brought Lavia back. Look what happened. Look what's happened to him. They brought flipping. They even brought back Fofana. Look what's happened to him. And I've said it on our given day. A fit Fofana on any given day, I think, is our best centre back at the football club. I really do think that.
You know, I'm concerned. I think there are two things going on here. The squad planning was not good. I understand that we had to get rid of players, and we had a lot of distraction from the players we had to get rid of. I get it.
The three
Um,
militaries in the world.
I
Everyone there? Bobby, Ty?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Ty,
Yeah,
Ty, who you gone? I think Ty's
yeah.
gone.
No, I'm still
Oh,
here.
you're
I'm
there.
still here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you guys cut, man, for a brief sec.
I understand that players are playing with injury. The season's coming to an end. For example, Cole Palmer. You see, we over rely on certain players. There's an over reliance on him. At this stage of the season, with what's going on with him, he should be able to be brought off the bench. He should be rotating now with somebody. And I hope with the arrival of Estevan Williams, that would be something of a relief for him. As you know, I never subscribe to this small squad syndrome that our Chelsea fan base seem to have.
Yep.
I think we need
I
squad
know
depth.
that. I know you
you
do,
know,
W.
and you can see it now. I think we're in a very precarious position right now. It's very dangerous. We have a manager who is doing things that is stifling the team. He makes easy games difficult. Maresca creates his own difficulty. I can see what happened with Ipswich from what happened today. The way they were playing was inviting pressure, pressure upon pressure upon pressure, and he refused to change. If he had started telling them, right, catch these people out, ball over the top, get your fast runners onto it, they would have backed off a bit more. But he wasn't. He was telling the players to keep back passing. So more than anything else, he has the biggest size of the blame. I don't know where we go from here. I really don't, because if he's not going to change, then I fear the worst. I do. He can't play like this. He can't play like this against Fulham. It's just as simple as that. You cannot. They will
Yep.
destroy you. You know, they will destroy you. We don't have the players that can absorb the pressure he's putting them under. We don't have those players. And they need fast break. They need the ball over the top. They need to relieve pressure. It's just football basics. And if he's going to keep doing this, then the club is going to be yet again taking the headlines for all the wrong reasons, because they're going to have to get rid of him. The player squad size will be affected. Some of our plans for the summer will be affected because at this rate, I don't fancy us in any European competition.
Competitions.
You
Yeah.
know, at this rate, and if you're not careful, they go back into the Conference League again, which is an
Oh
after
man,
not winning
please.
it,
Not
which
another season of that.
well, yeah, which is an
God no.
embarrassment. So I don't know. The man is an embarrassment. He's bringing embarrassment to the club. The ownership have to take some more very, very strong decisions. As I have said, and it's going to go on online. I'm fed up with the attitude of the pitch owners. I don't know what it's about. You can't hold on to a particular way of thinking for what? What's it been? 30 years, 40 going on 40 years? Move on. Move on. What's the problem? You've got to move on. Times have changed. The days of Bates and the whole estate development thing has gone. The days of Abramovich has gone. We're in the days of conglomerate and national ownership of Premier League football clubs. Whether we like it or not, this is the only way. Whether people don't like Blueco or not, you get rid of Blueco, you're gonna probably get someone 20 times worse. At least Blueco had a remit to care for the club for at least the first 10 years of their tenure. That was the remit they got. Anyone else
Yeah.
coming in will have no such remit. So all this Blueco out, I'm not into it. But what I will say is they have to now start making some moves. What we saw at Stamford Bridge should embarrass every single one of us on the pitch and in the stands. How dare you come to Chelsea and be doing all those shenanigans? It's like someone coming into your living room and giving it all the big un and that and pushing your kids about and telling your wife to sit down, and that is how
Oh
they
God.
insulted us. That
Damn.
Legia Warsaw lot insulted us. They just came, they outsung the Chelsea fans, they took up the whole stadium on our patch. Nah, I'm not having this. You know me, DJ.
Yeah, I do.
I've been at this
I do.
stadium for
Yeah.
I've been going for years. I've
Yeah.
been going for years. Even those
Same on
days
me.
when
Yeah.
there was a lot of physical, and West
Yeah.
Ham came and took the shed. They
Yeah.
took the shed because they outnumbered us. But
Yeah.
the next game at Upton Park, the old Upton Park, remember? We all
Yeah. The
know what
old.
happened
Yeah.
there. I don't
Yeah.
want to get into that side of Chelsea, but we're proud fans. We
Yeah.
don't take this. That
No.
was so embarrassing. So embarrassing. I was like, what the hell? I know there are regulations that mean that that in a stadium you have to allocate a certain portion to away fans, but that stadium's too small
I have
without
a question.
allocation. They
I
need
have a
to be
question for you,
hidden
Bobby.
somewhere.
I have a
You know?
question for you Bobby, quickly, bro. A quick question for you, bro, and also for
Yeah.
Ty as well, right? Even if we were to say, okay, I'll tell you this. Let's put it to this one, right? If we were to even say move out of Stamford Bridge, okay, we move out of Stamford Bridge, we go and locate, say, to Earls Court, we get a 65, 70,000 capacity crowd, right?
Perfect.
Okay. Can you honestly trust this manager though to be the manager to be running that football team at that particular ground?
No, you'll have to go.
Because you imagine we get that kind of money, we get a 60, 70,000 capacity crowd, and we start losing games at home like that.
Oh, then you'll have to go.
That's my
Although
point, bro.
that's what
So either
happened
way
to
you look at the
Tottenham
situation, right? You see,
and to
either way, that's what I'm
Arsenal
trying to
to
say,
them
brother.
extent.
Exactly. So either way you
Yeah.
look at it, right? Even if we were to go and move to another ground, which would be great, yeah. Obviously, I love Stamford Bridge. I mean, obviously, being a Chelsea fan, going through the 80s, I know you've gone a bit longer than me, Bobby, right? But
Yeah.
I've just loved the club. I just love our ground. I just obviously for what it is, being an old, what do you call old school and growing up with it. I guess probably I'm probably attached to the ground, okay. But what I will also say at the same time, yeah, that if we can't obviously get a way of expanding Stamford Bridge, okay, which could, which is still an option out there if we can do it, okay, because if you remember, okay, Bobby, before Roman left, he did actually have a plan on a stadium. Do you remember that stadium that was sitting in the
Yeah,
in the
he had the
museum?
bird's nest.
Yeah,
And the whole his sanction thing
yeah,
halted that. But
yeah.
the permission for that it needs to be
It's gone now.
reapplied.
It's
And the
gone now. They're
problem
not going to apply
now,
for it. Yeah,
and the problem now is that the bird's nest needed to be built before those um what do you call it, the mobile pylons got put in. And
yeah,
now with that, you can't build higher than a certain level. And
yeah.
going
That's
down,
right.
we've got the whole tunnel and the
Yeah,
railway problem. It's a
yeah,
huge issue. I don't
yeah.
really know how they're going to do it. And to be frank, a 60-seater stadium is not enough for Chelsea. We should be looking 65, maybe not even up to 70.
70,000.
Because with the corporate seating, you've got to let the regular Joes in as well to fill the standing areas that we hope to build and get
Yeah,
some noise into the stadium.
yeah,
We've got to do this. And sadly, as much as I love Stamford Bridge, but I'm
yeah.
over it now. I know that the future can't be that size of stadium,
No,
which is likely to mean that at least for first team matches, we're going to have to move out. We can keep Stamford Bridge. Why not? If they've
well,
got the money, they want real estate in London. That's choice area. So
I
they
said
can
leave it for
keep
the
it.
ladies' team, mate. Leave it for the ladies' team.
Yeah, you want to do that. And the youth teams,
Yeah,
perfect.
if we got to move. But like I said, though, even if we do move into this excellent, amazing stage as we're talking about it right now, I just don't think Maresca is the guy to be the manager and that, because I can just see what Tottenham are getting at this moment in time, and I don't want to even refer us to that crap club in London, right? Yeah, okay, all right,
Well,
but I can if imagine we start getting losses at that ground, that's under this manager. That is my only concern with this guy. If they're going to let,
well,
because let's be real here, Bobby, right? The other thing I'll also say about the sporting director we were talking about earlier on, can you honestly trust them to make the right decision if they were to sack Maresca? Are they going to make the right decision to bring the right gaffer in there? Well, we're an elite football club. Regardless of what anyone wants to say and where we are now, we're still elite football club. We need the best managers at the club. That's how we've always been. You know that as well as I do, Bobby, yeah? Being a
hmm,
fan for so many years, bruv, right? We've always got the best. Okay, and we
yeah.
need to get another. We need to get the best in again, because if you were to go and get rid of Maresca with this directors, I really don't trust them to go and get another to make the right decision and bring the next one in, because they're going to make the same mistake again. And you need an elite gaffer at our football club. Okay, and people are saying, "Oh, who can you go out there and get? Who could be available to go and get?" Yeah, most of all the top bosses are in top jobs at this moment in time, right? And I know some people come at me for saying it, but I'm only saying it from a winning perspective point of view and what this guy has done. And I think Xavi is a good manager to come in there because of what he's done at Barcelona as a player, winning the Champions League and also winning it as a manager, winning the Spanish league and all the cups. I reckon he's the kind of manager that we can bring in and who's available at this moment in time. But these guys will not do that. We all know this. They're not going to do that. They're going to go for the next best. They're going to probably bring in someone like a Kieran McKenna to be our next manager. And he's going to get Ipswich relegated. Yeah. So that's my point. Even if we were to make that decision, that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm not so much coming on rest to be sat. Yeah, I want him gone. But at the same time, I'm also saying, part of me is also saying, even if we were to sack him, who are you going to, can you trust the directors to go and bring in a decent one? Unless
And
you've got
you've
Campos
just
as
said
your
something.
director. Yeah. Sorry, bro.
You just said something that you said something to me, which
Yeah.
that I've said to so many people, that, and that's the one thing that frustrates me. The model.
Yeah.
The model is the
Yeah.
reason why we cannot get certain managers. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Because this, and I don't remember who said it in the chat. Somebody said something about Nagelsmann.
Yeah.
Nagelsmann decided not to come to Chelsea because of the model. Luis Enrique
Same
had
with Luis
one
Enrique.
interview. Exactly, right. You just read all more. Luis Enrique had one interview, and boom, he said, "You know what? No, this project it doesn't align with what I want to do because
No, he
they
said,
know
he
that
goes,
it's
this
an
project is not for
autocratic."
football. Yeah, he goes, this project is not for
It's
football.
an
It's for business
autocratic thing.
only.
It's business driven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Business driven.
Exactly. He did. He did say that. And, that is my concern. I just don't trust these directors to go and get in the right manager. I'm sorry, but I don't. That's why I've got no trust in them for that reason. And people are saying, oh, DJ, you've gone I've not gone on the dark sides or whatever. I love my club more than anything. And I think Bobby knows that. You know that, Ty, yeah? I've been a fan of this club since the 80s. So I go back a long way being an old school fan. I'm no someone who's just come into it. I've been here for a fan. I've seen us get relegated. I've been there about Save the Bridge. All that nonsense that happened back in the day. Ken Bates stopping the press from coming into the press conferences because of how they used to come in and start talking about Chelsea, slagging us off. I've been through that all, mate. The Chelsea Smilers. Bobby knows who they are, don't you, Bobby?
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I
That's
was
how back
listening.
far I go, bro. That's how far back
Oh,
I go. So I'm not just
oh,
anyone
yeah.
saying it. When I say what I say, and I know people don't like my views and my opinions, but at the end of the day, that's just mine and their mind that I like to say. And I say it how it is, and people don't like it. It's as simple as that. They don't. But as I said it again, I'll say it again. I don't trust these directors to make the right decision to bring the right manager in. There's no point even sacking Maresca because let's be real here. They're not going to. I don't trust them to go and make the right decision to get the
You
manager he
know,
should be getting in that football club.
DJ, the only thing I will say is it's not the model that made these players play like they did today.
Oh no,
You
definitely
know,
not.
the
Can't blame the
in
model for that. No, no, no.
with the model, we would have won the league the way we finished the league last season under Pochettino. It's not the model. This is now the minutiae of the coach. What happened today and what happened against Ipswich is 100% on Maresca. I know our players are fluffing chances. That has to be addressed. I don't think that can be fully addressed until the transfer market. And to be fair to the sporting directors and certainly the owners, they are already making moves quickly to get deals done before the Club World Cup. So I don't have a problem with that. I think it's Maresca. I was actually trying to listen to his press conference, and he was talking about trying to keep players from injury and trying to protect the 3-0 lead, bullshit like that. I
The
don't
way
know.
Palmer
I
was
think
playing them.
That's my
well,
point, Bobby.
there
You've
you
just
go.
said something. Why?
I'm just
Why are
saying
we?
what I've heard him say so far.
Exactly, Bobby. Why is he trying to
Garbage.
protect a 3-0 lead at Stamford Bridge to Legia Warsaw, who've never won against the top-rate football club in England? And you want to protect a 3-0 lead?
Well,
What are
this
we
is the
doing here?
thing. I
What are
think
we doing here?
he's I
I
think
mean,
he's I think he's looking for excuses. It is all down to him.
oh man, he's
His
frustrating, bruv.
tactics
Honestly, he's
his
honestly,
tactics are
he's
negative, predictable, and just uninspiring. And with young players that are missing in front of goal anyway, you're not giving them a chance. No balls over the top, nothing.
yeah,
Jackson had nothing to run onto. Yeah, when they did on the odd occasion, they fluffed their lines. But by then, you can get used to playing a certain way for so long, you kind of lose your sea legs a bit when you get your
yeah,
normal chances.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. He
I'll
has to
say one
change.
thing.
That's all I'll
I'll say
say.
one thing, Bobby, right, and to Ty as well, and to everyone in the comments. He's breaking a hell of a lot of records at Chelsea, but not for the right reasons, bro.
Yeah.
He's breaking the wrong records, man. Do you know what I mean? Everyone says about how he used to break records under certain managers. Done this, we were this, and this guy's just come in completely, shoved it all under the thing, and we're breaking every bad record. I mean, I said it to Ty on his stream the other day, right? I said it. How can you draw to Ipswich Town at Stamford Bridge when they were dilapless in that attack? Yeah,
Oh
and
gosh,
he goes and they still get a draw against us. This is that Liam Delap in the team until he came off, and even when he did come off the bench, he put what's his name Chalobah he put Jalop's backside on the floor at one point. I thought when he was almost going to go and score a goal. It's his decisions, Bobby. Right? You're playing negative football at Stamford Bridge when you know full well we need Champions League football, right? We need to get top 4, top 5. And then you're going and playing Chalobah as a right back, who's a centre back, and you've got three fit right backs sitting on the bench in Reece James and Gusto and Achimpong. I mean, these are the decisions this guy is making that I just don't understand what he's doing. And that is why I keep questioning it now. And thank God I didn't get to that game against Ipswich for religious reasons on Sunday. I didn't get to that game on Sunday, right? Okay. But I tell you what, friends that went down to that game, oh my days. The stuff they came back and told me what he did in that. And then he had the nerve to blame the fans after that game. They conceded that we conceded that second goal because of the atmosphere. I mean, what are we doing here, man? This guy, I mean, he's playing from the back.
Carter said the exact same thing.
Yeah. Sanchez just started this whole mess from the back. Okay. And this guy is blaming the fans for us conceding a second goal that day. The one thing you don't do, Bobby, you know as well as I do, bro. You're old school like me, yeah. You don't cross the fans, mate, because they're the only ones that will support you when things are tough. And he's gone and crossed the fans over
They
that.
can get you sacked too. They can get you
Yeah,
sacked too.
they can. We all know. Let's be real here. And again, I go back to it, and I don't want to keep harping. But had that been Roman, and he's coming out with comments like that, first of all, he won't be the manager if he was Roman in charge still. Secondly, he goes out and says comments against the fans. You will as well as I do. The next day on that training ground, a helicopter's going to arrive, and someone's going to get sacked, and that's going to be him. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. He's just got no concept, man. No, what do you call it as a manager? And I don't understand why we got him in as a manager. And I wanted to give him his time. I said it on streams in the very beginning, and so people don't come at me and say you're going backwards on what you're saying, DJ. I'm not. I said you're giving him a 5-year contract, yeah. So make sure he gets his time in those 5 years. However, what I've seen of his management in the second half of the season, especially, I've lost complete confidence in this guy. I really have. And people coming at Poch last season, right? I tell you what, at this moment in time, I'd rather have Poch at the helm right now than this guy, because at least these players are playing under Poch. He was getting the best out of them. This guy's making a lot of these players regress. It's bad, man. It's not good, mate. It's not good. Sorry, go on, Bobby or Ty. Whoever wants to come in. Sorry, I was just hopping on a little bit there, but yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to this is what CFC data says here. The club have 6 weeks to have. Well, I can barely see this. To have Europa League, I can't see this, man. Wrapped up for next season. Anything less, and we're going to be another 2 years behind. We're already 2 years behind, and we'll be way behind then. Because come on, man. And this is why when I was on Chelsea Perspective a couple of days ago, I said, and Vic had to be saying that that is because. It's one thing to try to shut up the fans that are obviously being vocal about how they feel, but at the same time you have to understand that a lot of those fans, unless they're recent fans, they are used to winning. And I'm not saying that you're gonna have immediate success. That's not gonna happen. That's foolishness. But at the same time, you have to understand that we've gone through five managers if you take into account the interim ones as well. in the past 3 years of this ownership. So you have to understand that there's no progression. It's just regression and stagnation and going backwards and backwards and backwards because people may keep as much as people gave up on Pochettino, and I was one of them. You have to give him his flowers for the fact of okay, even if people want to say Thiago Silva gave him this suggestion, the fact that he was able to swallow his pride and say, you know what, let me revert from what I'm doing. Let me actually try something different for these final matches and try to salvage something, try to get some level of Europe. Because we were doing poorly. We were in the bottom half of the table. But he said, you know what, let me change something. And and right now, people are talking about if we win the Conference League, people need to you have to give Pochettino credit for that because it was uncertain. And I get it. There's other instances where he brought on players and we could have gotten top four, and because we dropped 2 points and 4 points, I should say, we didn't get Champions League. I remember those games very well. Burnley was one of them. I think the other one was it Bournemouth or was it Sheffield United? I think it was Sheffield United. And in those two matches, it was a mistake from Badiashile. He came on and then he missed the ball and then they struck it right past Petrovic. So those little things, those are the finer details and all of that. But I mean, for him to be blaming the fans, then it was crazy. But I just want to quickly, I don't want to overshadow this because we are indeed in the semifinals of the Conference League. It's not good. It's not really a time where you can really celebrate or feel like good about it. But Chelsea will face off against Swedish side. I had to pronounce this name and then I forgot it. Djurgården.
Djurgården, yeah, Djurgården, yeah, yeah.
Djurgården. I think it's Swedish. I think the D's pronounced as something else though. But yeah, the Swedish side in the Conference League semi-finals. So that I think the first leg will be on May 1, I think. And then the final, if we get to the final, will be the 28th of May. So we could win a trophy, and it could still be a historical thing. But at the same time, this is embarrassing. To be saying you're trying to protect and make poor excuses, that's ridiculous. And Poggy says this: Maresca will soon start referencing Arsenal and Arteta in the hope of staying at Chelsea for years to come. If he does that, then he will lose the fans for sure. If he has lost a lot of the fan base, he loses them then. Because as much as Arteta and Arsenal are doing well now, what they've done for the past almost 6 years has not been beautiful. They've won what was it, 3 trophies, and with two of them being, or is it two? Either 2 or 3. They won the FA Cup against us, and
Community
the
Shield.
Community Shield.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not good. It's not beautiful thing. It's just that they played good football and they've challenged for the league 3 years in a row. So I don't know. It's madness, but I don't know. It's unfortunate. Do you have anything else you want to say, Bobby?
Yeah, sorry, I was just listening to Maresca yodeling
Yeah.
off. Well, as he reckons he was trying to protect the lead and protect the players and all this bullshit. He had to say something. Look, all I'll say is he's got to change. It's not even an argument. It's not even a question. He's got to change. He can't do this against Fulham. The team, I think it's a Swedish team we're meeting in this competition in the semi-final. Swedish teams are very physical. They're not going to be any mugs to get to the semi-final. So if this is how he's going to play, he's got to change it. He cannot do this. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Let's see what happens on Sunday. Um, he claims he was trying to condition Jackson, who was out for a long time. That's why he played for 45 minutes. And the same with Palmer. He's there with all the excuses. Fine. We'll wait and see. Sunday's the acid test. It really is. You see, he's backed himself into this corner. He's made this pressure by drawing with Ipswich. Had he won that game, he'll be under less pressure. Now he can't even draw at Fulham. He's got to win. He's got to win, and losing is not an option. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. We're just trying to hang on till the end of the season. If we can get through it, we'll say hallelujah. But goodness me, we've got to get into that transfer market because this can't continue. The
Well,
squad, like it is just too weak and not enough depth.
can I ask you guys both a question? Do you honestly think that the way we're playing at this moment in time, right? Do any of you think, and listen, you know, I'm one of the most positive Chelsea fans, but slowly I'm starting to lose a bit of positiveness right here. Do you honestly think, right, that we're going to win any of our games till the end of the season? Because you know, you go into this run, right? The reason why I'm saying that you go into this run that we're in now, right? Out of all the games that out of all the games that you're saying we should be winning, I'm not saying easily, but we should be getting wins at. You talk about Ipswich, should have been a win. Fulham should be a win because their record against us generally is always crap, right? And then you've got obviously Everton, which again is going to be difficult, but I'm thinking maybe we can get a draw up there because let's be real, under David Moyes, they seem to be playing better football now under this guy. And he's got them set up in a good. I mean, you've seen the way they played against Liverpool. I thought they were very unlucky in that game against Liverpool. And they've obviously gone on. They've gone on. They've obviously played better under Moyes, I think. But then you look at the last three games of the season. Nottingham Forest, who are doing so well at this moment in time, even though they're going for a slight little dip in this moment in time, but I expect them to bounce back. Okay. Then you've got Manchester United, even though they're in a in a crap position. That win tonight, okay, is I think going to put the confidence in these players to think, you know what, we can do that. Yeah, let's go and try and see if we can put that kind of form in the Premiership. Usually they are a bogey team anyway. I don't think we've got. I don't think we've beaten United. Correct me if I'm wrong here. And when I think when it was when Thomas Tuchel was our manager, might have even been before that. That's how bad our record is against United. We either draw or we lose. And then obviously you've got
We beat
Newcastle.
United. We beat
We don't. What do
United
we do?
under
When
Pochettino.
was under Poch? Yeah. Oh, and then you've got who else? You got Nottingham. You got Newcastle, and then you've got Liverpool, who you'd hope would be on the beach by that time, because obviously they'll be lifting the Premiership title, so you'd hope they'd be on the beach, so they wouldn't really care. Imagine we have to do. Imagine the players have to do a guard of honor for these guys as well at Stamford Bridge, mate. That's going to be in itself embarrassing for us all, knowing that players are going to have to do that. But what do you guys think about what I've just said in terms of our wins? Do you think we're going to get any wins from any of the next lot of games that we've got left this season?
I think at this point you can think too far ahead, DJ.
Yeah,
The thing about football is
it's strange. I know. Funny
a
game.
week can change everything. And one thing about this Premier League season, the reason why Liverpool look so good is that everybody has been so bad. Now, will they be as bad in the run in? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Yeah, at the moment, Newcastle look good. I think there's a time where some of them are playing each other. I think Newcastle's playing Villa very soon. And who knows? Who knows? All I know is that we can only focus on ourselves. That's all you can do. And one thing we cannot do is what we did tonight. Now, because what we did tonight was such a stink off, we tend to forget how the games have gone since the after the international break. You know, the game against Tottenham was a bit of a masterclass, to be honest. We defended like the good old days, and we scored a good goal to boot. And beating a team 1-0 is often good. It shows we can do it. The game away against Legia Warsaw, well, we all know what happened there. Even this game, if we had our shooting boots, it would have been over the hill and far away. You know, our usual not scoring in front of goal is part of the problem. The game against Ipswich, the first half was a stink off. The second half was miles better. So you don't know, you know, can Maresca change things and do better? Absolutely. He doesn't have to play this one touch passing around at the back all the time. He has played the ball over the top several times. Did it against Tottenham, did it second half against Ipswich. People were taking shots outside the box finally against Ipswich. that led to Sancho's beautiful goal, equalizer. So they can do it, but the tactics must change. And he's talking about, I've just listened to his press conference, the last 8 games, which including the 2 semi-finals, are cup finals. Yeah, you got to play like that and all. Do you know what I mean? You don't just say, "Oh, they're cup finals," and give a stink off like you did today. Um, you know, he can get away with it, perhaps because of the 3-0 hefty lead. But the thing is, you see, form is habitual. You don't play badly and expect to suddenly flip a switch and turn it around towards the end of the season. You don't take that gamble. So I don't know. I don't think we can go as far as to predict what's going to happen, but we can say that if we don't change, it doesn't look good. If we change, then we've got a chance. It's that simple. A statement. It's that real. We change, we got a chance. We don't change, it's going to be a total stink off.
How about you, Ty?
Oh, according to Rich Money Makers, big up the legends. I've just heard that our players have had kick up the ass by our coach, according to his source. Well, if that's the case, then that's stupid because, as Poggy says, the players should be doing the exact same thing to him because I know the tactics make no sense. In the beginning, I tried to see what he was trying to do, but man, it's stupid. It's counterproductive and it's just harming the team rather than helping the team. And then he says we have easy games playing the seed in this semifinals because that was shock result. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of your question, and I was actually saying this to Jerry as well when I was talking to him. I was saying that I don't see Chelsea winning any of their matches. Probably that's just the emotional side of me talking, but Liverpool, I definitely don't see us winning that match for sure. Man United, I don't see us winning that match. Um, Despite the fact that they've had a very horrible season, sitting 14th. And considering what you said, the players will be happy to be ecstatic about the fact that they were able to, to win the match literally in the last moments against Lyon. So it won't be easy. Fulham, historically, as you said, we're supposed to beat them, but nothing is certain in football, and nothing is certain with Chelsea. At least this Chelsea. Um, I don't know. I'm not confident at all. Newcastle won't be easy. Newcastle, there is a way to beat Newcastle, but I don't know if Maresca will swallow his pride and do what needs to be done to get the job done. But there is a way to beat Newcastle. And if you're able to break down that weakness that they have, you can hurt them. But I don't have any confidence in the team being able to do that. So I'm not confident presently, and I don't see us winning any of the matches. Which, if that's the case, then maybe then that's a poor end to the season. But I share the sentiment of what Puggy says. I know, and what I heard Burton Ballers or Max Burton say a couple days ago about believing that we'll finish seventh. I think we're going to finish seventh, and even that will show that we've regressed, not progressed. We got 63 points last season, and finished sixth. And right now, that looks like it's going to be an uphill battle to even get that. So I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that the other day. Burton Ballers talking Max, as always, landing it as always, and saying what it is. I was, everything he was saying that day, I was like thinking. Even when I heard him saying about us finishing seventh spot, I was like thinking, if Max Burton is saying that, okay, and we know as well, along like Bobby, I must say we're probably three of the most positive Chelsea fans out there, right? Okay, but if Mac's saying that as well, I mean, that's got to be something. Something's got to be in the air for that to be reacted to that as well. I mean, look, I always try to aim high for my club still, and want us to get into a Champions League. And let's be real, if we do go on to win this conference. We're not going to get into the Champions League, but we'll get into the Europa Cup, right? Again, Thursday night football. Will the play, would the players get used to that again? This is why I said, I just think it's going to be tough between now and the end of the season for us to get that top five. And you're not the worst thing will be of all is there's a fifth place available to get Champions League football, and we may not get that when there's 5 positions. Obviously, first, second, third, and then you got fourth, and then that fifth place. And if we don't get that, are we ever going to get a chance to get back into the Champions League again? That's the question I'd say. It's peak, man, isn't it? It's peak. Yeah.
It is very sad. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, it
The
is. It
coach,
is. Yeah.
the,
Sorry,
the coach is under pressure. He refused to speak on TNT. Really, is that so? So where did they have the interview? I'm confused.
Sorry, what was that comment again, Tom? The coach refused to speak, did he say? Did that comment? Did Rich
Yeah, that's
Moneymaker
what he
say
said.
the coach refused to talk? Really? I thought, but then
Yeah,
I thought he did do a. Oh,
No, he did do a
that's
post
strange.
match. He did. He didn't refuse to speak.
I was going to say.
No, that's not true. Listen,
No, on
guys, I'm going
TNT.
to
He
go to
says on
bed.
TNT.
I don't know about that. He's given a post-match conference. He was very comprehensive about whatever bullshit it was he said, but at least he said it. Speak on TNT. I don't know. I didn't watch it long enough to see that. I doubt if he would not do that unless it clashed with his other press conference. It doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. I'm going to go to bed. I'm absolutely shattered. I've had such a long day. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what can I say, guys? We just have to wait and see. I think
Yeah.
sometimes we can overthink this, and there's a way to keep spiraling into the negative side of it, which I don't think we can afford to do right now. We've got to have the attitude of the 2012 May 19th Battle of the Allianz, where
Yeah.
we went into that stadium with 2 injured centre backs and a whole plethora of suspended first team players that would have been our first choice for that game. And we turned it around. We've got to have the attitude of how we went into, was it the Dragon Stadium in Porto, and met what was then the greatest team in the world, and we turned that around. Chelsea have this thing of doing the possible out of the impossible. Right now, we are not in a good situation in terms of what our form looks like, but we are capable of playing much, much, much better. And as a fan base, we have to hold on to that. It's not over till the fat lady sings. The game against Fulham is vitally important. And if we come through that, well, we could be singing another tune. So I can't go into the doldrums at the moment. It makes no sense to me, especially when there's a lot to play for. Yes, it was a very, very bad night tonight in terms of our performance, but it doesn't have to be the case at Craven Cottage on Sunday. And all these other teams we're mentioning, it's left to be seen. Yeah, we don't have a good time at St. James's Park, but, we have one up there and we can win up there. We went up to Everton, albeit it wasn't a David Moyes team, but we drew 0-0. And stranger things have happened. They've got to come down to the bridge. Moyes doesn't really travel well. He fouls well. And with all the weaklings we've got in the team, they might probably get away with bullying us. But we've got to stand up and be counted. And if we are, who knows? We've got all these people who are working from home. If we can get half an hour out of someone like Lavia, and that, it will help us. So it's not over yet, lads. It's not over.
Yeah. No, you know what? I love the positiveness, Bobby. And look, yeah, you're right. It's not all over. I get that.
No, it's
It's
just
not.
the truth. It's
It's
not.
true. It's true. It's true. It's true as well. I guess we've just got to trust in our players to get us over the line. But as I said, it's the manager, unfortunately, Bobby, that I don't trust. But I can hope the players will do it, because obviously they'll know what we need to play for. But it's just unfortunately a coach is what I don't have the confidence in at the moment. But like I've always said, Bobby, I always say, you know me, he needs to prove me wrong, man. And hopefully he will prove me wrong. But the players hopefully will go out there and give it their all to get us to where we need to get. So yeah, you're right in that way. You've got to take it in that way.
Okay,
Well, yeah,
guys.
I guess. Well, go on. Bobby.
Sorry. Thanks
Okay.
so much for having me on. I
Yeah,
did
big
I
up
did
to you,
try
Bobby.
and join earlier, but there was a bit of a glitch. I'm just knackered today, and the result hasn't helped anyway. So I best just drop tonight. And we got Sunday coming up
Yeah.
anyway, and that's good. What time is it on Sunday, DJ? What time is it? Oh,
I think it's a 2 o'clock. I think it's a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock kickoff. I think, Bobby. I'm not mistaken. I've got to double check. I think we're on Sky. I think we might be on TV.
Two.
I've got to double check.
Two.
two
I
It's at
think
o'clock.
two. It's at
That's
two.
early.
is it two?
Okay. Oh,
And the Everton game, just to let you guys know, it's a 12 p.m. kickoff. That's going to be on TNT Sports.
yeah, when's that? That's well away, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
think
that.
next
that's
Saturday.
Saturday.
Next Saturday. Next to
Oh,
next
the next
Saturday.
Saturday. Oh gosh, yeah, it's not too far away. Okay, all right, guys. Good night. Thanks so
Good
much
night,
for
Bobby.
having
Big
me.
up to you, bro. Big up to you as always, man. Great chatting
Yeah,
to you as always.
Bless you
yeah.
both.
Take care.
Happy
Take care.
Easter.
Happy Easter to you as well, man.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Bobby's is dipping, and I think this is a good place to end as well. It's almost 3 hours. I actually went longer than I expected, but yeah, it was a good conversation, good discussion. Different persons came on. Obviously, Garvin was on in the beginning. Wolfgang was on. Rich Moneymakers, who obviously also highlighting that he's been a member of the channel for 7 months. So appreciate the
Excellent. Well done.
support. Just keep up the good work. Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah. So big up to you, Rich Moneymakers. Puggy was also here. Who else was here? Jordan Hyman. Jesus is King. Beyond the Belt. Miss Melina was also here. Uh, who else? Maki Newham was also here. He had to big up the panel.
Big up, Makeem.
Who else was there's many persons I'm not gonna be able to find everybody's comment because a lot of comments are here. But big up to you as well. I'm horrible with names. I don't want to butcher the name once more. Rajik was also here. He said Maresca out. This I don't think this is the real green turf. He said I told you about Maresca tie. But big up to you as well. Yeah, I think that was it. And JFC Govern, as I said, was here. And obviously this Are You Mad Tie, Maresca out. But yeah, thank you for joining as well, DJ. Appreciate it. It's been over an hour.
Nah, cheers, bro. Thanks for having me on. It's always great coming and chatting to you, mate. I'm just obviously gutted to come back, or gutted with the result tonight, obviously, and gutted to come back from a game and tell you more about it, watching it flipping live, mate, and telling you all
Oh
about it,
gosh.
coming back and
Like
explaining it
so
all to you,
adding
bruv.
salt to the wound, man.
Yes.
Yeah, adding
That's
salt to the wound.
man. It does in many ways in one,
Gosh,
mate.
man.
You never know. But thanks for having me on, bro. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and hope you're keeping well as well. And hopefully we'll catch up soon, brother, on
Yeah.
another stream with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm having a headache now, man. I've been talking, I'm ranting
okay,
for so
rough.
long.
Just one more
Yeah.
thing. Big up to the Chelsea ladies on Sunday, by the way, in the Champions League. They're going to beat
Oh
Barcelona,
yeah.
mate.
Hopefully they
Big
make
up
me
to them.
happy, man. Hopefully they make me happy.
Makes our day, mate. That's the only enjoyment we've got at the moment, bro, is our ladies team. The quad is on, man. The quad
Yeah.
is on. All right, bro. Listen, you
Oh
take
yeah.
care. Everyone in the comments, smash and like and subscribe to the channel as always. And I will catch up with you very soon, Ty. Yeah?
Yeah.
Big up to you, brother. Peace out, bruv. Peace
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah. Yeah.